Everybody, welcome to the NA Revival Cup, powered by Lenovo Legion. I'm Darth Mike. This is JRT. We've got to be here. An NA Revival, you know we had to be a part. So we're going to be here all weekend taking you through the action, and I'm excited to get things underway. John, how you doing today?
Pretty well. I'm also excited for this one. It's been a while since we've had one of these cups, and it's good to be, working with complexity is amazing, and doing an NA Revival Cup, and we've been here for the whole time, Mike. But yeah, it was great to see 200 plus teams sign up for the Open Qualifier. That was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the region's hungry. The region's been hungry, right? We've seen it this year with local lands coming in, Fragadelphia's selling out, Launder's land selling out of team spots. NA is hungry for CS. NA is hungry for Counter-Strike. We just need the infrastructure to give players opportunities to show what they can do, and this NA Revival Cup's going to go a long way towards being a part of that. Very excited about what we can do here. I'm very excited that Complexity are enthusiastic partners in trying to build back the scene into what it once was. So shout outs to Complexity, shout outs to Lenovo Legion for helping make this whole thing possible, and shout outs to all the players who participated, who signed up. I was getting hit up to join teams, which is how, you know, everyone's coming out of the woodwork. When they're running out of players, they're digging out my number. But yeah, no, very happy to see the enthusiastic response into this event, and to see who we've got as well now competing in the main event itself, John.
Absolutely. And I mean, today for our first match anyway, we're gonna have Boss up against NRG, and we just saw Boss, you and I, a couple of days ago playing in Challenger League, and it wasn't great. It felt like they were a little bit lost in the way they were playing, and they lost that rhythm that they had previously, especially if we look back a few months ago to their crazy run in ECL, and then, you know, making it to Pro League. Even in Pro League, they actually looked pretty decent. I thought things were going pretty well. They didn't necessarily win any series, but it felt like progress had been made, and they come back 10A, and it just, you know, nothing's really there. But, you know, I think it's normal. They're trying to instill a new system under Axe, so that takes some time, and hopefully for their sake, they'll find their magic again soon, because there was one moment in their last series where they looked very, very strong, right? It was the second half of Vertigo, and I was like, okay, this is the Boss we know and love. And Fang was one player that I think is important to this squad. He has to frag out and play well, and when he does, obviously they do better. And everyone else just felt like they woke up. Freshie as well had a really good second half on Vertigo. So hopefully we get that second half Vertigo Boss, and not the rest of the, you know, the match that happened there.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tough thing when you're coming back from Europe. You know, You've been trying to install a bunch of things. You're trying to take all the lessons that you learned in Europe. You're trying to install them into the squad. And, well, maybe you're trying to think through too many steps as a player, not necessarily just playing your game, which is sort of the quintessential classic statement from players. But, you know, there is genuine truth to it as well. Meanwhile, on the other side, NRG. This is a team that's finally starting to have some optimism about them. Speaking of NA Revival, you know, having NRG back in as an org was an awesome thing to see, and it just hasn't quite gone the way they were hoping. No. That seems like it might be changing, right? Walco into the IGLing, Automatic into this team as well. Daps moving into the coach role, something we thought might make a little bit more natural sense. And suddenly this squad's looking as dangerous as we thought they could be on paper. There's still some question marks. We're still having eyes on Breeze's form. We're still thinking about, you know, can OC get back to that really promising alt prospect he was before his more recent stints? And I think they're starting to show us what we want to see.
I do agree. I still we haven't seen them really tested though with this current lineup, right? Because since the RMR, they've really only played ECL, and I think obviously they had the David's Cup, which they did win, you know, so that was a nice win that they found for themselves. But I still think it's a question mark as to how they're going to perform against the rest of the world. But in North America, 17-5 in ECL, everything is going extremely well for them. And Breeze is their top frag, you know, over the last month, 240 frags. He's very closely followed by both OC and Hex at 238 and 237 frags. I think that's just great news to see those three at the top, though, and very close to each other.
Bang left alone. They wanted to go 4 up on A. I think quickly Boss is going to realize, we might have read this wrong. Might have gambled wrong. Smoke should make this easier. Look at this. They're full rotating, actually. They could be ready for this. Smoke goes in, but with the numbers on, I mean, they actually want NRG to go through this. Indeed, they're going to. Is there a flashbang for this swing? Oh, there is. Darty. It's a massacre. My goodness, Darty. Dropping bodies one after another, and it's a complete non-starter here for NRG. Nothing doing.
Yeah, I mean,
Boss shut him down.
Great job by Darty, right? He's a player that we both highlighted as one that could be very impactful for this Boss roster. He was one of their star players throughout their playoff run. And I mean, the numbers aren't terrible. You know, he's sitting at an even, I would say, 0 kill to death differential over the last 22 maps that they've played over in ECL. And I mean, it's just that there's more that we thought we would get from both Darty and Freshie. So we're waiting for those two to kind of really find their rhythm once more and join Pwn alone, who's actually been great. Like, there's been nothing I can kind of complain about when it comes to Pwn alone. He's done his job. Oftentimes you'll see him at the top of the scoreboard without anyone else really contributing, unfortunately. But, you know, I think that the rest of them will catch up eventually. Pwnalone's just been really good at, I think he's just generally a great player and adapts to new systems very well and very quickly. Darty gets the opener here. This one should just be Boss taking control here. It absolutely is. Darty taking care of business. He's just racking up the stats and the eco frags here. 7 frags on the board. He gets another 4 here. 2-0 for Boss.
Nice start. It's what you want to see, right? We had really slow starts when we were watching them this past week, and that was, it's just never fun, right? As a player,
no.
You know, we talk about in a theoretical world, in an ideal world, every round should be taken in a vacuum, but the reality is we don't live in ideal worlds. We are flawed creatures as humans, and momentum and mentality can play a huge part. So getting off to the hot start, it's going to be nice for Boss. Giving them a little bit of juice early. Speaking of juice, Darty's trying to give it a little bit of a squeeze as he's just squeezed his way right between a couple smokes here down mid. This is a cheeky spot. This could get real weird. His teammates are selling this as well. Fighting the banana players. Waiting for the smoke to fade, but OC's wise to it. He's very nervous that a player's pushed down mid, and with Walko tucked now, it's about OC clearing. That's good diligence from the most of the time Opper to make sure a Darty spot is not going to pose any problems.
Freshie retreating back towards this A site, and NRG haven't committed to either bomb site just yet. It's going to be a little bit tough for Boss to defend here on this bonus round, and only 1 player left on the B site is Cryptic. We're looking at the stats over the last 3 months on the map that we're on, of course, Inferno. It is 5-4 over the last 3 months for NRG, and they've got plus 11 round differential. It's been kind of rough for them, especially against tougher teams. I think they had 2-13 losses against MIBR and G3. But if you look over at Boss, they have not won this map for the last 3 months. They are 0-6 here with a -40 round differential. They are very frigid on Inferno.
Let's see if they can heat up. They've got the site. They got the site with very little resistance. Bit of spam damage. They'll happily pay that price. Crypt is not quite the lineup. Oh my goodness, and it cost him. The attempt cost him. Breeze snappy on the tracer following. It's a man who likes his geometry. Now a follow-up as well. And this might just be a plug pull over from Boss. Shut down utterly. Had 2 sort of pokes into the site. Barely even got to the point where we could call it a retake. And down and out. Freshie with a parting gift, but it's Pwn alone who's stuck. he could try and go for something cheeky here. There comes the motion. He's been spotted. The jig is up. And he's out of time. Shouldn't be able to make a go of this. But he'll attempt the stick. No, time's too far gone, and they know it. Podolone goes up in smoke. But Energy are on the board.
Yeah, good job by Energy. I mean, honestly, getting that first trade by OC was quite critical. It allowed Energy a little bit of space to kind of work their way up towards that B site. It took their time, weren't rushing anything, which is what you got to do on Inferno. You got to keep the CTs guessing and rotating back and forth, and that's exactly what happens. After that, Boss just can't really recover because it's another great take of B by NRG. So that's going to do it. First round, like you mentioned, on the board for them. But we can't forget, that was the bonus round for Boss. Now they're going to have the 4-on-4s and the AWP up against a similar buy for Energy, just minus the op. Instead of that, it's a Galil for OC, who will like to have the op, I imagine, eventually here on this T side of Inferno.
Actually, I don't think to run it.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Like, I'm not sure if they're going to run the AWP here on their T side. A lot of teams choose not to.
He really generally likes the rifles a bit more automatic, showing how the rifles can work for you. Just a straight up fight against Bone Alone. And that is now big trouble on for Boss. Feng hanging out in the fountain. But at least for the moment, it doesn't seem like they're going to pressure the Fang gang. They're going to leave him to hang. And back on away. This time it just whittles off this clock, and it's Freshy instead, who's got the solo sight action. Up in towards the apartment halls, duel with Breeze destined for him. But at least for the moment, they've avoided each other. Gets that kill on the lurker, they get the clear back in, but Freshy overcommits into the fight and can't get anything for it. Bomb now planted, and Boss forced into the save here, Joe.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Here we go. Save simulator on Inferno is going to get started for us, honestly. Yeah,
you had to leave this map in the pool, Valve. You had to leave this one in.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're getting some better matches on it lately, Mike, so I guess I understand why they kept it in, but there were better options than removing Overpass, because I felt like Overpass was one of the more strategically kind of strong maps, and you saw a lot of cool strats come through from multiple teams, and you know, it's always one that's so big that you never really know what every one round to the next is very different, I guess is my point for Overpass versus Dust 2, where it's not. You know, so I'm not sure what the decision making was there. I think that Inferno could have been taken out, Mirage could have been taken out, even though Mirage is also a map that's considered a classic like Overpass, I would say. But anyway, it happened. We got Dust 2 and we still have Inferno as well. And you know what's the worst part about it, Mike? Sorry, I just want to finish my point here. But,
all right.
Dust 2 has also become a bit of a save simulator on the B site, right? Because once the B site's taken, the CTs are saving. So yeah, exactly. So we have two maps now where, you know, you got a really slow action once the bomb is planted.
Yeah, if anything, I think it might be a little bit more viable to go for the retakes with the smoke popping. Because you can't just smoke B in window and just sit.
Definitely, a little bit.
But yeah, I agree. I'm not. Look, Dust 2 is always going to come back around. It's always going to come back around. It's too iconic. It's too marketable. It's too popular to not put it in the video game. But we don't have to love it.
No, I do, though.
You do love it?
Yeah.
You love Dust 2?
I do. Well, I mean, it's in my DNA, kind of, as like.
Yeah, that makes sense. You do love old things.
No, we're just playing. Come on, no, it's a map I've been playing all my life. I was playing Counter-Strike before. Well, I don't know how old you are, Mike. I forgot, but maybe before you were born. I'm not sure.
Before I was born.
Maybe
you would have needed a time machine to play CS before I was born.
Maybe you were super little and not playing video games. I don't know. But I was playing back in the beta 4. I think that's when I started beta 4 of Counter-Strike. And like, I was there when Dust 2 was introduced, you know? So for me, it's just...
Yeah, I was there when they made the first video game. We played Pong by inscribing stone tablets.
Not
Pressure here, in towards mid. It's okay, you're joined by a fellow old and our producer, Rob. The ancient types.
I got someone on my side here.
But here we go, shifting the focus over towards B instead. It's just Fang. He's got a smoke. That is the rest of the utility here for Boss. So they're betting a bit on the guns, but it's timely aggression coming out of the apartments. If they can catch Breeze, they can get an idea of what's happening here. Oh, he doesn't need to see anybody. They risked going through the smoke, and there was no reward. Oh my goodness, Fang. That's one of those, you're getting the kills, you don't even know. Your eyes cleared, your teammates are like, yo, great job. You're like, I don't know what happened.
You're just spamming the angle, and honestly...
I let Jesus take the crosshair.
That's one way to put it, but yeah, Fang getting very fortunate on that, but it's just NRG as well. I'm not sure why they would line themselves up in such a fashion, but I guess the flashbang kind of disoriented them a little bit, and Fang as well, of course, but Fang gets the better end of it in a very big way, and now OC just has to save the M4. 3-2 for Boss, so good job for them. They finally responded after 2 in a row for NRG. NRG, though, built up enough economy. They will have a buy-up coming into this one. Should be pretty good. See which team gains that momentum. But good to see Boss competitive in the early goings, Mike, right? Because when they were playing Wildcard on Ancient, it just felt like they were completely lost. And Ancient's not a map they're necessarily bad at. It just... something was off, and they were getting slaughtered round after round. But this time, they're out of the gate and looking way sharper. Hex gets the opener onto Darty. 5v4 in favor of NRG. NRG is going to build off of that by trying to gain map control towards top of Banana. And they have it. I mean, they're being given it for the most part by Boss, who are a little short on util, and that's why. Pone tries to a flashbang, and it's, actually, I don't know if that was the flash that got that, but nice shot from Pone, peeking around there.
Take that. Take that every day of the week. Reboss NRG as well. They're trying to decide what they actually want to do now. They still got plenty of util for a hit. So, they'll redouble their efforts. They'll keep the pressure on. This might be an attempted predictive read of saying now that they've shown the op, maybe they shift it off. Of course, they haven't. So they will have to contend with one Mr. Pone alone. Freshie alongside him. Flashbang's good. Forces Pone off the angle. Follow-up flash as well. Golly, he's blind shot missed, and he won't get another chance. Freshie coming through! Oh, ho, ho. If that turned into 2, this was very dangerous indeed. As it is, Fang gives them a chance. The bomb's likely going to be planted. That he will concede, but a retake now a very appetizing prospect, especially with what might be unconfirmed damage, but is damage still on automatic. Problem is getting through this choke point. Oh, late flower pots boost. This is creative. It's a bit of a risk. They're hoping someone comes looking for them, but automatic. Over by the coffins instead. And for the light check, time is low. They both got kits. Fang finds the first. All about automatic. Oh my goodness, he almost missed the first, but Fang's there for the trade. Just in the nick of time. Back-to-back huge rounds here for one Justin Fang Coakley.
Yeah, Fang, I mean, the 3K there, very, very important piece going in on that retake, and I thought they weren't going to clear coffins for a second and that it was going to be automatic, taking care of both, but Fang quickly whips his crosshair around, takes care of automatic, drops him to dirt, and defuses the bomb with just enough time left. So yeah, I mean, this is the huge piece that we've talked about many, many times. Fang, he added that firepower boost to Boss. It's just about the consistency in being that top fragger. And I would say in ECL overall, he's been great, especially against, I would say, the middle to lower tier of the league. But when it's tougher competition, that's when things start to get a little shaky. So it's good to see him up against one of the top teams in ECL performing like this. Oh, Walco.
All right. You got an op? I got a Tech 9. That's all you need. Superior gun, John.
Sometimes. Many times.
Look at this. They've given up B. Wow, this is quite an adjustment here from Boss. Maybe expecting it to just be a run it down type of situation, and they might still get B right.
It's the right read.
The question is, does Automatic realize it? No resistance here. If he pulls a cancel call, now they're clearing back in towards mid, but they just want to go out the apartment.
I feel like they're too committed, Mike.
Ooh, they're pretty far forward. Breeze has got to get something off this AWP. He's got the first. Does he expect the second? A clear back in from Freshie, holding the angle. That's nicely done from Freshie, but meanwhile, Automatic has found all the space towards B, so it's just a question of can they get the bomb out. Walco sacrifices his life to do so. Hayes is coming back.
That's weird. Why?
He's going to think Okay, he's trying to Giga Brain this. But there's only 30 seconds. That's unfortunate. He was wary about getting caught in the mid-cross that they'd push down. And so instead now he's fighting with the sight, hoping that that was the one isolated player. And it still might work out. The gain of the rifle's huge. 13 seconds, not a lot of time to spare, but the both towards short. So that smoke pays dividends. And now he's got support. Now he's got reinforcements, automatic, keeping them at bay for the moment. There's a gun for him. A Molotov as well. Uh-oh, boss in big trouble. Molotov around. Forces hexed wide, but no one capitalizes. Molotov to keep him safe. Freshy's through it. That's a great wombo combo. Automatic and Hex getting exactly the kills that they needed. And despite the stack, John, reminder, they rotated everybody over.
Yeah.
Still falls apart.
That is really fortunate for Hex. I think you're absolutely right that he figured someone's going to try and cut him off by pushing through alt mid. But at the same time, like, you have so much space gained towards B, you'd think the obvious decision would be just rotate through apps, go the long way, get to that B site, and plant the bomb. But instead, he decides to go back to A, and, you know, eventually Automatic joins him. And that first one that he got on the player on site, just really nice shot and great clear. And he's actually, with the smoke, able to isolate the position even further and get that bomb planted with only 11 seconds left. He had to hurry, and beautiful stuff. I love it. NRG making it work despite a tough situation. Oh, Breeze is going to get dropped by the USPs. Cryptic going to upgrade to the AK, you'd think, as soon as he can. There it is. And now they're trying to push into the B site. Our NRG reading that quick push. They know there's one player here, that's Fang, with the Deagle. Is going to try desperately to connect on them through the smoke, but it's not going to happen. The bomb will be planted. Still a chance for Boss to take this, though.
A slim one. Lack of armor. Might just want to keep the AK. Now there's smokes. Got nothing to come through it. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
this isn't going to be a look. The AK is too much value. Your percentage chance is too low. They got to concede.
For sure. I think that Freshy, Darty, and Fang should still hang around here and try to find some exits. I'm assuming NRG is just going to funnel down Banana and they won't really have a chance to upgrade their guns. But Darty's getting a little bit adventurous. I think he's going to try and pull them back onto the site and make them go down to bomb. We'll see if that happens. Darty popping through the smoke, gets the dink onto Walco. I think Walco's probably going to die here, either to the bomb or someone. Yeah, there you go. Freshy sacrifices himself to keep Walco back a little bit further with that tag damage. And there you go. So, couple of players down in NRG. Boss didn't invest much into the round, and they come out of it with an AK.
Problem is they still don't... Oh, we've had a DC for Fang. Okay. Should be getting him back in just a moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't take long. It looks like,
he's already
looking at my magic record, it shouldn't take long at all.
Yeah.
But we'll just get him sorted back out. They still don't have a ton of money, right? They still don't have a ton, which is a bit of a problem when you consider the utility that you want to have at your disposal here on Inferno. We're getting into the back half, the back third of the half, rather. So we might see the investment around the AK, but not going to be picture perfect. Not going to be ideal. That hit of the guitar, you know, the mandolin.
Yeah.
Pwn alone with a Mag 7. Here we go. This is NA Revival, baby. This is quintessential North American Counter-Strike. There ain't nothing more red, white, and blue than Pwn alone with a Mag 7 in his hands.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's a great sight to see on this map in particular. He's going to that half ball at the B site. I certainly hope so anyway, because that's where so many memorable moments have been seen from Mr. Pwn alone with the swag. But no, he's not. He's actually going to go towards A. Interesting. Usually B and Banana is the best place to post this up, but maybe the apartments? We'll see. Hexed, along with Breeze, are going alt mid here. No, he's going to post up into Boiler. Interesting. Okay, this can still work for him. Breeze, walking up. The nade's going to do some damage to Pwn. A lot of damage to Pwn. He's down to 55 HP.
Just the way he likes it.
Yeah.
On the edge. Of glory. Pwn not alive until he's around half health. Just wait. You know, he's a bit of an old man now. You got to get the blood flowing somehow, and it's Darty who actually does it. There we go. The SMG to get it.
Oh, there it is.
Mag 7. That's the Pwn alone I know and love. Now they're in trouble. NRG's like, all right, quick, funneling towards the beat. There's a smoke. Uh-oh. Lost all the A presence. For all you know, someone's pushing down the flank. They're not, though. They're not giving you those free kills. So you can't just hit pause. You're under major threat. Darty's bringing in... They've got another resmoke. Darty's brought in an extra resmoke as well. So they're just going to totally put a cork in this B play. Oh, Darty, don't leave. Don't leave. Not with the smoke. Not with the smoke, Darty. No. The smoke, Darty. The smoke was everything. The boost up now. Collect Fang. No. Trying to get cheeky there. Coffin's play trades it, but Cryptic's under threat. Darty's coming back in. Gets that smoke down, and they didn't push through. So it's all good now for Boss and NRG. Just really don't have a path into this. This is a save.
Yeah, maybe.
Opponent's not going to let him.
Yeah, opponent's going to get one, and not the second. Walco does manage to escape, at least for the time being. I think Darty's thinking about chasing it, but also their money could be better, and they don't want to risk it, so they're just going to fall back. And Walco will eventually save the AWP into that next round. But Boss, that's a great stop that they pulled off. You know, the smokes continue to come through. They just had that AK saved over, and it wasn't even that was doing the damage, you know. It was just everything else from Boss that ended up working out in their favor. And now they're back in the lead. This has been very back and forth between these two squads up until this point. And I think that in the last BO2 that NRG and Boss played, they did split. Yeah, they split the series. And Boss ended up winning on Ancient, and that's the only loss on Ancient that NRG have over the last 3 months. And then it was a 13-7 win on Mirage for NRG. So they've matched up pretty well together in the past, and I guess that's no exception here.
Certainly not. Just give Pone alone a Mag 7. Why is he buying the op? What's he doing here, John? Come on, Pone.
Yeah, stick
we
with
all
the
know
Mag
what you
7.
mean. We all know where you feel most comfortable. It's with the swag 7 in hand. Let that flag fly. But no, he'll insist on the AWP.
Yes. Such a terrible choice. How could he?
Regrettable. Early utility exchange. NRG don't contest banana early, but the late Molotov now lets them take space. At least a little bit of it. And actually, Boss want to play with just one man isolated, Pone alone. They've got him on the angle as well. It's not like he's on half wall. It's not like he's got the forward presence. He's pretty far back. This could get hairy. He's got the util to stall it out, though. No Molotov. If they go fast, he could be in trouble here. Molotov to push him off the angle. That actually works very much in his favor because it means they're not going fast. Might want to be pulling an extra player over here. Where are the comms? Where are the comms? Gotta bring another player in here. They're gonna back off. He's done enough. He's done enough to sell the presence. They don't test him. But as they push down mid, OC catches. Here's that T-side up we were wondering about. It's already had some impact. Cryptic. Trouble. Looking the wrong way. Two angles to cover. Hits the timing. And now Darty out by the truck. Fang to support him. They may not expect so many players to still be here, but they're certainly ready to clear the angles. First one, there's Darty. Two, not even enough. Pone alone's got a save, and there's already automatic on the hunt. Bomb's gonna be down. Pone alone never had an intention of this round, and as long as automatic keeps his gun out, this kill should be served up on a platter. Oh, he's gonna knife him. Out comes the...
Oh, man. Poor Pone alone. Automatic racking up that cash, building up the economy for his squad for these last two rounds, and NRG tying it up once more. Felt like Boss were doing a good job, you know, stalling out NRG and keeping them at bay, forcing them off of that B site. But then Walco just runs through mid, gets an opener, and that triggers his team to go right up towards lane. And then after that, Boss, even with the manpower like you talked about that they had there, they just couldn't get it done. A great UMP frag coming through from Breeze onto one towards the site, and then I think Darty, obviously, you know, getting a 2K is pretty impressive in this situation, but it just wasn't enough given how much manpower they had left. And OC's gonna drop two immediately towards Cat. Does get traded out by Cryptic, but that gives his team the 4v3 edge. Freshie, Cryptic, and Pone alone are just gonna group up on one site and gamble it at this point because Pone alone's stuck on a pistol. Are they thinking of pushing mid here?
It feels like a triple push. This is gonna get weird. Oh, and unexpected, but it only nets you 1-2. Okay. Decent enough exchange. Cryptic's giving himself a chance. That's the element of surprise out the window, certainly. And in towards B, they will go. Beat him on the timing on the cross. Bomb's going to be planted. So what do you got for us, Cryptic? No kit either. Have to cook up a real spicy meatball. Walko! Nearly gives him the chance. Oh my goodness, Automatic's getting called out by the Molotov. Cryptic's playing this perfectly. He knew where Walko was. Can he put this together? Walko gets active. Knows he needs to take the initiative here. Knows that they kind of got rumbled. And actually, by swapping spots, Cryptic may not have expected him to go this far. Back through the cross smoke. Ring around for Rosie here.
No.
But the Molotov tips him off. It does cover the bomb, actually. Problem is he needs the full 10 seconds, so the round is going to Walko, but Cryptic gave that a real good shot.
Yeah, I mean, Boss in general gave it a good shot, right? Because that 3-man stack towards mid in the smoke, the smoke faded and they were going to push up. I mean, Breeze caught a couple of frags, which is good, but Boss got 2 on back, leaving Cryptic in a situation where he's in a 1v2. Does manage to get the first one, but give Walko a ton of credit. He's got a big brain, and that's a great decision that he made to push through into Church, go all the way around on that flank, and just make life difficult for Cryptic, and he just didn't know where he was. And like you mentioned as well, no kit. Full 10-second defuse required, and Walko burned off more than enough time, even gets coup de grace, that last frag, to come through and secure the round for NRG. We're into the 12th and final round of this first half, Mike, and Boss has a very meager buy-up. A couple of pistols, a UMP, the Mag 7 for Pwn. That could do some damage, but the MP9 for Cryptic to wrap up this buy. Freshie waiting in boiler with the 5.7, and Fang actually gets the opener with the UMP onto automatic. Walko could be exposed here if he goes to boiler, but I don't know, maybe his spidey senses were tingling because he backs off and ends up going to what will be a vacant A site for now.
This is very strange. They've just completely taken a site. With this heavy mid lead, now, well, the bomb plant's likely going to happen, and NRG's wondering where the defenders are. Oh, they realize in time. Breeze into position, snaps around. He's ready for the next as well. Nice bit of play from Breeze. And Pwn alone, Fang, and Cryptic are left to try and pick up the pieces. OC kind of got lost at sea there. But his teammates should still be able to bring this round through to safe harbor.
Maybe.
Double pit setup, pit mini. Walko deep into the site. There's Walko on the spot. How do you get the kill? Mag 7 dropping! Oh, not where you want the mag, not where you want the swag, but it's Hext who ends up with the most swagger in the round. 7 on the board here, T side for NRG. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad at all. I mean, Boss looking pretty good as well. They weren't necessarily out of that round until Pwn alone kind of gets isolated there in pit. And with the swag 7, yes, he did manage to get one and just Goomba stomping one of the NRG members, but after that he connects for a little bit of damage on Hex. In the meantime, that's more than enough of an opportunity for Hex to go in and get the other 2 players and completely leave Pwn on an island. So we go into the second half. Pistol round coming through. How much utility is going to be bought by Boss? Only 2 pieces. I like seeing those heavier utility investments, Mike, on the pistol rounds by the T's. I think it's much more valuable than the armor.
Have we mentioned the overall veto yet, John?
No, we haven't. We have not, no.
So this is NRG's pick. They're now on the CT side.
Makes sense.
There's evidence of that. It's going to be Boss picking Mirage for the next.
Really?
And Ancient is our decider if we get to it.
Okay. I mean, interesting veto. I'm surprised Boss are picking into Mirage. I mean, it is a decent map for them. But I guess they figured Ancient would come through as the 3rd map, which they were absolutely right on, and that's their top map. So see how that goes. I think NRG in general will be favored in any veto, given that their map pool's really strong right now. But Boss could still do this. They're playing pretty well right now.
Certainly still very much on the table. Inferno, far from settled business. Hexed. Gonna make this pistol round a little easier for his comrades. Good flashbang. They need the rotation on. Teammates are taking control here out towards B instead. And while the advantage will be left for them, a retake will be required. Likely a bomb plant. Unless they really futz it up. Freshly punches in at those numbers. Now NRG. The onus is on them. They've got a smoke. They've got a flash. They don't have a kit. The time to shake a tail feather. And they're not checking pit at all.
What?
That smoke. I think they may have overestimated how much it covered. Or how early it would bloom. Automac's just going to stick. No. Backs off. Pwn alone drawn through. Realizes the jig is up, but it's all about time now. Pwn alone with the check and the snap around. Oh, this old dog still got a few tricks.
Oh, goodness me. Pwn alone. What a round for him. I mean, obviously he's playing a great position from pit, and NRG overlooks it because I think they threw a smoke in that direction, or at least a smoke they thought was going to guise off Pwn alone's vision. He gets one that he saw before the smoke bloomed, and then afterwards just keeps firing, and he's gifted another. I can't believe he's able to flick around, though, in that final 1v1. He's looking at the bomb, completely distracted. You'd think the NRG player would have the advantage, but no. Pwn alone gets that flick shot with the P250, and that'll give Boss a 6th round. They're right back into this map. Cryptic tossing the nade on forward. Walker's just waiting for some presence. I think that should be enough to justify throwing the smoke. There we go, finally. With the Molotov toss forward, he will throw the smoke up at top banana. Fang looking around, spots out a leg, doesn't do much damage, but will eventually finish the job on Walco. Make it a 5v4. I think Boss might push it off of that.
Might do. Might do. Then they will indeed. And they'll win it. Win the exchange. This is going to be a safe call at this point. Bomb's going to be down. Game's going to be tied up. If you're NRG, you want to keep whatever you got here going into the next. That may not even be allowed, depending on how active Freshie wants to get. It's a nice, decisive bit of play. Oh, they've knocked the paintings off the walls, John.
How rude.
Have they no manners? Hang it back up. Automatic, hang it back up.
They'll hang it back up next round, Mike.
He's just looking at it on the ground, man. Anyway, someone could step on it. Ruin that priceless art. Terrible house guests.
Terrorists win.
Tied up 7-7. Boss going to this next one. They should be okay. I mean, because NRG forced up in that previous round, I would expect they're just going to lightly invest into a little bit of util, maybe, and some pistol upgrades. Outside of that, it's just going to be the 2 guns they got from that previous round, the MP9 and the Scout. So Boss should be in good shape. Those 2 SMGs could farm some money from Fang and Cryptic. See how it works out for them and what NRG decide to do. They could get frisky here, but it looks like a pretty... No, it's not going to be standard. OC's charging down mid. They're not really looking for it either, and now he's starting to walk. He could catch them off guard. There's one. The second! No! Just misses, taking down Cryptic as well, and that makes it a 4v4, but Boss need to be on their toes.
That's going to sting for OC. He's going to want that back. That could have been a complete tipping of the scales. But he bungles the spray on the second. Maybe it should have been an ump, John.
I don't know.
We've been talking about that a lot lately. Theoretically, the MP9 is a faster time to kill. Should be better. Oh my goodness, this one still could be there for NRG. They lay the trap on Banana. And Boss stuck their foot in it. There's the spawn. Bomb's gonna be retrieved. They couldn't get the guns, but Eagle and a Scout might just be enough. Breeze under pressure. Freshie trying to chase him down, but having signaled this, it's given them many opportunities. USP could finish it, and it will! Tag him, bag him himself. OC did enough. He is redeemed.
Oh man, Boss just walked into the worst possible angle they could have in that round, and that's just exposing themselves to top Banana. NRG had all of the lineups there. The crossfire came through, and everyone just melted away. as NRG did all of the damage with very little invest into that round, like we talked about, just the saved guns. And Boss are probably kicking themselves. Again, it was a bonus round for them a couple of rounds ago, or the previous round, so they will be able to buy up into this one with 4 AKs and the Galil, but that's the type of round you need to make sure you secure. And I think they'll probably kick themselves for not watching top mid and checking for that push that OC pulled off at the beginning. And it could have been worse, right? Like you mentioned, if OC gets that second, then, I mean, it would have been a greater advantage.
But either way, however it ends up, that kind of round, NRG are pretty dang happy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a heck of a win.
Oh, yes.
And they've had a couple of these now, right? Rounds where they probably had no business being in it. These are the kind of rounds that'll sink the ship for Boss. Now struggling to right it, struggling to plug the holes. They've lost 2 in the apartments. That makes life a little bit easier. Automatic finally setting a foot wrong. Just as quickly, Fang is lost, and now there's a crossfire here. Breeze with the first, the second to boot. 4 in the round. It's the
5.
ace,
It's the
actually.
ace. Yeah.
He's done it all.
Oh man, Breeze was that question mark for me when he was picked up by NRG, because on EG things didn't look exactly great for him. In fact, they looked pretty grim. And not the player, like just bad for Breeze. I mean, it's just a tough one to watch. And then he comes to NRG and he's the top frag. Honestly, more often than not, I'm so happy for him that he was able to find his form again. Obviously, sometimes you just need to change teams, change locations, and that makes all the difference in the world. It absolutely has for Breeze. 16 frags there off of the ace in the previous round. Wowko's gonna pop out here. Look at that util damage!
Oh,
Hex gets 2 with the Molotov. Fang and Pone alone, last 2 standing. Yes, it's only Glocks, I know, but it was such an impressive amount of damage coming through.
Yeah, you can put some style on it, you know?
Yeah.
It's Glocks, but what's more NA than losing to Glocks? So they're not going to do that. I'm with you, though. Breeze, as a, you know, figuring himself out as a player, getting back to that form, even if he's ever, you know, 90% of the player he was at his peak, 2018, 2019 Breeze.
Yep.
That's a hell of a player. That's a hell of a Counter-Strike player. If he's 80%, that's still a dang good player. So as he starts to find this form, as he starts to find this footing, this is something that NACS fans have to be very excited about in this roster.
Oh, no question. 106 ADR right now for Breeze as well. He is just sailing above everyone else at this point. 4 M4s in the AK for NRG. Boss are just trying to scrounge together whatever they can. That's going to be a Galil and 4 AKs. Util's not as great as they'd like, but they have to try and get back into this one because NRG are starting to pull away. I think this might be, this is the biggest lead we've had so far on this map. 3 rounds in favor of NRG. It's Pone alone. Take that space towards top mid. Hex wins the fight there, and then the second as well. How? Hex getting 2, Cryptic and Fang just seemingly having no chance.
This banana fight has not been great for Boss. Having a tough time with it. This half in general, and at this point, you don't have a lot to clear it. You don't have any mollies, you don't have any flashes, so getting back in a banana is going to be a tough prospect, and, well, you have to. The bomb's there. You have to go through banana. This is, I mean, disastrous, right? There's 3 players watching. Your best shot is that the HE catches 2 and does great damage, but even then, they really going to pull the plug on this round?
I was going to say, like, looking at their money and the situation right now, it might be best to pull the plug because your loss bonus is not going to make up for that full armor and the AKs they've got on their backs right now, and they are backing off here. Getting a little scary with how close Breeze is getting. Breeze, the freebie onto Dart. Only a little bit of damage taken. He grabs an AK off the ground, and he is going to head the heck out of there. He's got his upgrade, and he doesn't care about the last 2. The other 3 might, or I should say the 3 pushing down banana, might put a lot of pressure on Freshie and Pone alone. Oh boy. Yeah, 9 seconds left. All about Boss burying these AKs into the next round. This is what they've gambled on. Hexton Walco going to fight Pone. Coming around. Pone only gets 1. He is traded. Freshie should be able to live here. He's tucked in enough. He does survive. Can't get another frag for himself, but at least keeps the AK, Mike.
That's still a disaster. Pone alone got clocked. No money. He's bought a P250. Not going to be the extent of his investment into this round. He is bankrupt.
That is so tough, honestly. Like, right when the time ends is when he dies. It's a good time to call a timeout, settle things down a little bit. Obviously, Boss not happy with the result of that round, and they're going to have to force up here because, I mean, the money is just not very good. The full loss bonus is going to come into the next round, so they'll be able to buy up respectably with $3,400 added to their bank accounts, and they need the best chance possible of closing this gap.
How do you do this? What do you call here? Pitiful levels of util. One smoke. Kind of a desperation buy, and you're pinning all your hopes on it as well. A player without armor. I just might be seeing this map go by the wayside. Boss. They had the 2 rounds to open this half. Since then, blanked.
Man, oh my, that Molotov blooms all the way down onto alt mid. That's really crazy. What?
That's a little bit of a fortunate spread.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it rains, it pours. And in this case, it's pouring lighter fluid.
So unfortunate for Boss.
This is interesting, though. NRG, considering the advantages that they have, I'm actually a little surprised that they're gambling over towards A. They're cheating this heavily. They're correct, currently. But yeah, Boss having shown presence are going to back away, and actually, Hex could be in trouble here. He's been steadily dumping util. But haven't been listening to that. Here's the rotation back over. They need to get here quickly. The problem is there's no flash to go through this. If there was a flash to go through this, Hex is in trouble. But as it is, he'll have his teammates back with him. He'll have reinforcements. The smoke back off. The spacing could have cost him. It won't. And now he's got comrades. Hex down, but Walco doing work. Bomb plant, though, this is actually huge, John. Maybe not even for this round, but the next. Can they close? Can they close? That goes a long way. Oh! That was almost a tag through smoke. That was almost a kill. You're on notice now. Breeze and OC. OC point, man. Clearing through the coffins. Cryptic on the other side. A duel in. Cryptic takes the initiative, takes the swing. Down to just the 1v1. Cryptic is low. Breeze, he could just stick it at this point. Flashbang enough to pull him off. Breeze has to stick it now. Cryptic gonna come up into the fight, and he will finish it. How does Boss pull this one off?
Wow, Cryptic using whatever he had available to him, picking it up off the ground, the scraps, making it work. And unbelievable, that flashbang that was thrown was enough to pull Breeze off of the bomb. If he stuck it, he actually would have won the round. It would have been done because Cryptic had no intention of peeking at that moment. And then finally, Breeze tries to take the fight. I think you were right. I think he had to stick it in that moment. Otherwise, it would have been over anyway. So, yeah, well done from the IGL for Boss. They take a round which looked like it would be a nothing burger and turn it into an 8th round. And also get themselves a ton of money, or at least more money, to work with. The problem is, NRG still have even more than that. They're going to have the full-on buy-up, and it's still actually a little rougher than I expected for Boss, with 2 MAC-10s, the Galil, and the 2 AKs. But they made it work with less than this in the previous one, so let's see if they got the magic in them once more. Walco and Automatic getting aggressive here towards Top Banana, and it pays off. They get the advantage for their squad, 4v3. There's still going to be a push coming through here. Pone alone wants to fight a little bit further, and oh no, Walco gets tagged here. I think, yeah, I was going to say, they might want to hang around a little bit longer because NRG were figuring that the rotation would come through immediately. Instead, Boss pressures long enough to keep Walco there keep Hex there a little bit longer and keep A lighter.
OC. Oh, the slow peek in. That's what he dreams of. And now just on the Darty, a miracle needed. That miracle will not be had. NRG 4 shots at map point here. And this has been a bit of a disaster for Boss. The wins have been few and far between. Improbable when they managed to pull them off. Now, speaking of improbable, we got MAC-10s, we got Tech-9s, we got bits and bobs and pieces of utility, and they've got to try and make this work. Do or die here. Not a rifle in sight for the boss side. Because of a slight hesitation on the spawn call, it's not like they're going to go fast on the explode here early. Still being dumped in towards Banana.
This Maya though leans towards the fast push. You got Mac 10s and Tech 9s. Wildco is the one pushing though. He gets towards bottom. Banana wishes goodbye to Fang as he takes care of him with the bullets. And now Cryptic getting connected onto the smoke down to 28. And oh no, Wildco! He's popping off now. 2 more to his name. Automatic getting freshy. This one is probably done. Dusted over. There it is. 13-8 in favor of NRG, Mike, who made it look quite dominant in that second half.
They did indeed. They did indeed. They strike first here at the NA Revival Cup, powered by Lenovo Legion, and they do so very substantially. I mean, once they swapped over, despite the pistol wins, both halves, pistols and conversion, went to boss, by the way. That was a very one-sided affair. You take those pistols out, and it's even more so. It tells the story. This was NRG's map pick. They look very comfortable on it, and this is encouraging, man. I think seeing positive signs for NRG, seeing this roster continue to gel with Walco now at the helm, is good. It's good for NA. It's certainly good for the team. And they're going to have a chance to close things out on Mirage, a map that in the current pool is kind of neutral territory for just about everybody who plays Counter-Strike, and it's certainly one that NRG have been finding some comfort on as well. So I don't think it gets any easier for Boss here, John.
No, not at all. I mean, Boss, I've also lost against NRG on this map not too long ago, but a month ago, 13-7, like I mentioned earlier. So it's going to be a tough ask for them to try and get back into this series. And don't forget, it's single elim, guys. Once you lose, you are done. You're out of here. So it's a reverse sweep that's required. Maybe if we get to Ancient, it'll be a different story, but I just don't see the path there for Boss right now with the way NRG are playing in particular. And Breeze, I think he had 21, 22 frags on that first map. He's looking phenomenal. And Hex, you talked about him already, just the fact that he's able to contribute on top of Breeze doing well and everyone else kind of clicking. And Walco as the IGL, he's not always that guy who you need to rely on for frags, but he can deliver in clutch situations as we saw there. So it feels like all the cogs are fitting into place on the NRG squad.
It's certainly looking good. It's looking well-oiled in this moment. Speaking of which, I think we're going to take a well-oiled little break here and be back for map number 2.
You hit me one. So, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere. 'Cause there's no one like you left.
Welcome back, everybody. We're about to hop into this thing. We're about to hop into this game. We're back into the action, and we've got Counter-Strike on deck. NRG boss. NRG handling boss nicely over on Inferno. Now we head to Mirage, which theoretically is boss's pick, but based on the weight of evidence before us, don't know that we're going to need to worry too much about them.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for Boss, right? It's an uphill battle for them. I think, like I talked about in the pregame, this is a new system that Axe is trying to instill with the squad, and that takes time to get going. And of course, Walco joining up as the IGL. Yes, he worked with most of this squad as the previous EG core, but still, you know, you're implementing OC, Breeze. I don't know if Breeze was playing with him. I don't think so. So Breeze coming in there, and Breeze is looking good. You know, OC is as well. I think all 5 players are starting to come through very well on this NRG side. I don't know what Boss can do, Mike. I honestly don't. I feel like it's going to be very difficult for them to find their rhythm, right, against an NRG squad that's already found everything that they want and feel like they've got their flow state versus Boss who aren't there yet.
Well, we'll have to find out if Boss can get there quickly. All right, Hex. Hex like, come on, I'll boost you now. A little bit of trolling, perhaps. A little bit of a goof and a gaff. I think the concerning thing, if you're wondering about this, if you're just tuning in for this map, we might have to get back to this point in a moment because we're about to have a pistol coming underway. Breeze missing an opportunity, but Cryptic got all the way up. How did he get that much space over on 8? Doesn't matter. OC, an assassin right now. Breeze has been dealt with, but the bomb plant may not be allowed. There's lots of bodies here now. And the problem is that Freshy's still so far removed that Fang's got the world to battle in the meantime. Now the bomb down, Freshy's position revealed, and 3 targets to find. At least he's got a P250 with which to do it. But I don't know that that's going to give him much. It'd be cold comfort in this moment. First duel found. Swing from the bench player, trying to bait it out. He's playing this well. Finds the catwalk, but the double swing's too much to overcome. So, the point I was looking to make, if you're looking at the scoreline from the last one and saying, well, it was NRG's map pick, that's actually pretty close, it's a perfectly reasonable scoreline, yeah, you're objectively correct. The problem is, when you start to dive into it, Boss won and converted off of both pistols, and they also had some improbable rounds go their way. I'm thinking Fang with a blind 3K spray down as players come through smoke. I'm thinking Ponalone pulling off a Mag 7 Goomba stop play. Lots of those little moments that are maybe less repeatable.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, they're getting cool individual efforts, I guess, is the point you're making. And it's just not enough. Like, they're not there in terms of chemistry, in terms of strategy. This one's a non-starter. Boss already done in the first 20 seconds of the round. They just tried to charge down mid, hoped for the best, and got the worst. NRG going to be up 2-0.
I think,
yep.
It's time to switch slides under our microscope and talk about NRG a little bit more, because I'm feeling the positivity right now. This is a different NRG, and right now the thing that's most encouraging, and I think the thing that was encouraging on Inferno as well, they feel like they're on the same page, and they feel like a team that has a much clearer idea of what they want to accomplish in each round. It felt like when we were watching the early fits and starts of NRG before they made these latest runs and changes, a lot of it was, it didn't necessarily seem like they had an idea of what they wanted to do in every round. They didn't always seem like they were on the same page. There weren't the decisive plays. There were kind of these very, very slow, particularly their T sides, just executing with 20 seconds left, 15 seconds left. And it doesn't feel that way anymore, right? We need a bigger sample size for sure. But in these last few games, in these last few matches that they've had, does it look like a much more decisive team? Does it look like the communication structure is a lot clearer? I don't know exactly what it is. I'd be curious to hear from their end what's changed, what feels different. But it does just feel like a team where the players are a lot more sure of what they're supposed to be doing, and they're executing it well as a result.
I think it's also the fact you have 2 players backstopping strategies, 2 people backstopping. Anyway, I'll get back to that point. Ponalone's going to get one. Fang gets one right on back, 3v3. And then
double ladder
charge
play
on toward, double ladder play works out. And now they're going to move into this game site. OC gets 2 though, trying to lock down the 3rd as well. He peeks out and gets deleted, but he's done so much damage. Oh, the shadow was spotted. Freshy knows. Walco's here. Yeah, I think so.
Now there's certainly confirmation on it. Oh, a little wide on it. Walko. Gives it up. Automatic the next to duel. There's the footstep. Confirmation from Automatic. He takes the space. Masterfully played here from Automatic. This guy can just be a nightmare to play against, and he's got all the time in the world. Reads it magnificently to secure a third round for NRG.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of question marks when Automatic was picked up, and we said, oh, why didn't they give Fang more of a chance? Which I would still argue they might have been it might have benefited them to give Fang more opportunity, but you already have an Automatic, which is like the established version of what they wanted Fang to be, available to join the roster, and he's delivered as promised, so that's great. My point I wanted to make before, Mike, is now NRG has two minds behind this squad, Walco and Daps, right? You know, Daps on the sidelines as the coach and Walco in the game. I'm not arguing here. It's a fact that Walco is better than Daps at this point in both the IGL duties. Maybe not the IGL duties, they're probably equal, but in the fragging department, he's very capable. Automatic's getting a one here and a second. OC going to get the op frag onto Freshie. It's just Tech 9s, but they're disposing of them quite handily. Only Automatic taking damage here, Mike. But yeah, I guess my point is they just have more to work with in terms of like that strategy in the back, in the team in general.
That's a nice shot from Cryptic. But unfortunately, they're caught in the crossfire. There's no way they're getting out of this. So the hot start continues here. Rifles bought back up. Clear picture utility. Opt for Pwn alone. Here's where we might get a bit more of the picture. What do Boss have to show for us here on Mirage? Of course, they do have to contend with OC on the other side with that big green. But frankly, lately, it feels like it's been his rifling that's more terrifying.
I mean, but that's always been OC, right? He's always been that kind of like 50% of frags with the rifles and 50% with the op, and sometimes it even leans more towards the rifles. He is such a good player, and I think he's getting a chance to show that now, finally, again, on NRG. Hext, spamming through the smoke. And Cryptic, just watching the re-smoke go in for mid-window. Fang is going to do some work there with the util as well at Con, and it feels like a B play is being set up here by Boss, and that's exactly what's happening with the bomb going into the apartments, two players pinching on Cat, and the lurk, that is Fang. I think he's going to try and get some frags here towards the A site to keep NRG on their toes.
Molly deep. Breeze talking. Hex to play off of. Clear. They do. Darty decisive with that one. The reinforcements are on Hex to an important first, but he's all alone. He's still putting in work. Hex staying alive here. But finally brought low. Cryptic on the catwalk. It's OC in the clutch, and he is so very out of position that I'm not sure he's going to give this a look. Yeah, not interested. Out of this round. Boss on the board.
Yeah, finally they get themselves a round victory. That's a really good setup, though. I mean, the util was great. I think Fang, you know, put himself in a good position to at least kind of attract attention from NRG. Doesn't get any frags, but it doesn't really matter because he's just at least someone who is there to slow up their push back in towards the B site after a great execute comes through from Freshie. Yes, it's a Cryptic, Darty, and Freshie moving into that site.
Terrorists win.
Alrighty. We go on. Boss, need to build off of that. Looking at the economy, it's actually not that great for NRG, Mike. Probably just going to go for the half buy here. I would imagine around the AWP, they could risk it and force up, but that would surprise. Okay, well, I guess a lot of teams are more apt to force up nowadays. MR12 certainly kind of gives you reason to, but they're going all in. Going to say the last one is not great, so you can get a proper buy-up in the next round, but they want the guns. Why not? It's a good buy-up. Lots of util sailing into Con there for Boss. 3 players immediately taking control of mid, and NRG aren't challenging that much. You see that nade thrown up, trying to catch Fang. It doesn't really. OC sees a player, misses the shot. Darty fades off. And OC's going to fade off himself back towards the site proper.
It's not a ton of util, so if this turns into a retake, You might see NRG a little bit more tested. Automatic, trying to get cheeky. Somehow is not punished for that. I think he's feeling a little fortunate to have gotten away. At the time, he could have really worked against him.
Yeah.
Instead, they keep all 5 alive. They know they've conceded mid. Unhexed. Fumbling a bit with the positioning. Is caught. Fang through into the window. Fitting out his spot. A footstep was there, but I think it was in towards Con. Instead of the window, automatic knows he's in a tough spot. What's he gonna be able to pull off? What? No, nothing. Freeze though, set up to trade it out. And Walko still could be a bit of the Joker, but they don't even need to contend with this. The element of surprise is his best asset. There's the peak, there's the execution, that's the bomb drop. Now they need to cross. Molotov in. Walko's got a swing, and Fang plays it well, making sure he can't slip away.
That's a great molly and a better finish from Fang coming through there. Walko, you know, I talked about the fact that he, as an IGL, is a pretty proficient fragger, and you saw it right there, you know, immediately peeking out with the MP9 from mid-range, making it look easy, but the Molotov and then the full-on clear from Fang, realizing that Walko would be forced out of position, was perfect from Boss, and they secure a second for themselves. And now, because NRG forced up in that previous round, they don't have anything into this one except for some pistol upgrades. It will be 2 5.7s at Deagle, no armor, no util. And Walko says, well, I got a 5.7, might as well get on the move here and try to push into underpass. Thing is, Boss are expecting it, and he eats a nade right off the rip. Still has a close angle to fight, but gets nothing. Fang finds the first frag into the round, and then will continue pushing up here into what will be 3 NRG players. Shots, maybe? No.
A little bit of damage, but so far no blemishes, no issues, no real concern. 2 USPs yet to find. Well, it does seem like they're running into the, well, let's put stack in heavy quotation marks there. Take serious shenanigans. Freeze burns, and it is clean for Boss.
Okay, not too bad. Would have been good for Boss to find this on their T side of Inferno. Feels like they can't piece together 2 good halves in terms of each side. CT side was strong on Inferno, and now T side is strong here on Mirage. Not to say maybe they'll switch over to CT side and things will go their way this time, but well, we'll have to wait a little bit longer to find out. And hey, Boss could still come back and take the lead here because they're on a nice little run for themselves. 3 rounds in a row, and NRG are going to buy up once more. They won't have the op in OC's hands, but as we've said many times before, it's not really that much of a hindrance for him because he's very good with the rifles. Fang.
No kit though.
Yeah, that's
Eyes
correct.
on the retake again. NRG's been hampered in these potential retakes. Forces them to perhaps play a little more aggressive than they'd ideally like. As we saw in Inferno, they don't mind a bit of CT aggression. This one early on, the posturing is really good for Boss. Just the fact that it's light on A, they're going for the mid crunch, and meanwhile, look at this, already taking space out by Tetris, now starting to work his way around. On the line,
nice.
Strikes for the first. Now they know, might just be locked out of this one early. Automatic though, trying to find the key, sets up the trade as well, keeping this even. And the important thing is getting this fight before the bomb goes down. But it's time for Boss to adjust. They've got all this control out the apps. They know they've pulled NRG into the vacuum of A, and so they will change their approach.
That's a phenomenal read from Boss, realizing that NRG completely rotated or just got the inkling that it was enough presence onto that site to pull all 3 members over to that A position. And now Boss are just going to go towards B. It's completely cleared up by Fang, so they're just going to make sure no one's at cap, more than likely. They're trying to slip up there. But yeah, it should be a bomb plant. The question is, does NRG go back to this? I would imagine so in a 3v3.
I don't think so, honestly.
You don't think?
It's
Money's
look
not
at how much
great?
ground they have to cover.
Yeah,
They don't have the kits. They don't have flashbangs, so getting out of market's going to be a nightmare. It's a combination of the positioning and the lack of util and kit that they'd rather just play this one forward.
Yeah, and money too, right? I just realized that as well. So, yep, just going to be the save here. NRG, gamble stacking the A site. When it doesn't come their way, they say, okay, let's just keep what we got and try again later. Later being round number 9. Boss, nice job recovering here. 4 rounds in a row to answer NRG's hot start on Mirage, and they're looking as good as they did in that first half of Inferno. Fang in particular continues to be strong. 8 frags to lead the scoreboard for both his team and the server, although he's tied with OC and Automatic in that category.
And that last round he won without firing a shot.
Yes, he did.
Right, that was, you know, he was the player up into apartments who takes that space. You realize the vacuum. Presumably it's his cancel call coming in. For the ramp players saying, look, I'm not seeing anything on B. I think they've totally abandoned it, taken that space. Those are the best kind of rounds. Rounds you don't even need to pull the trigger. They certainly are for me, John. Mostly because I can't hit anything when I pull the trigger.
Not that bad.
Oh, look at this push up though. Oh, this could get weird. Freshie's backing away from it. Very fortunate for Freshie. I don't know if he realized how far forward they were. There's the catch. Extra gun gained. And now you know you're in trouble. If they funnel this in towards A, it could still work, but no, they're not reading that. And the adjustment from NRG has been good so far. They're making a confident gamble. It's working out. Breeze catches the first. The player get right might not be expected. They might not need him. Breeze knocks down 3. And it all falls to Fang. And this time, doesn't matter how much space he's found. He can't call for them back. There's no one to come back. What a round, Breeze!
Well, Breeze is back, baby. I mean, not only in this series, but overall, on NRG, he has looked absolutely incredible. He was quiet at the beginning of this one. We saw how good he could be on Inferno, and what a 4K he pulls off, playing from bench for the majority of that one, just knocking them down every single time he spots them. And NRG have regained that lead, denying Boss the possibility of even having a lead so far here on Mirage. Ponalone, though, he's going to have enough money to get that big green up and running once more. The 4 AKs around him. Automatic! Well, he doesn't really need to find that frag because Walco is supporting him with the AK, and Fang can't do much of anything into this round. Pops the smokes for both Hex and Breeze. Nicely done. Cryptic going down to dirt, but the A site's been taken.
Bomb plant allowed. That nade pop doesn't work out for them. Ponalone ready this time, but Freshie collected on the tail end of it. So that was a nice maneuver out catwalk for Hex. Let's see. It's a little slow into this retake. Being a bit tepid in their approach. Once they've got the bodies in position, I mean, they have overwhelming force on their side. Now Ponalone's last spot known. They can just molly and smoke him out. There should be nothing he could do about this one. Flashbangs to push him off the angle. Smoke to cover. Someone's got to get on the stick, but he's going to try the lineup, and okay. Between the flames and the lead, that was a bit too much to ask.
Yeah, just too much utility, and I like the patience from NRG, not trying to force things too much and doing a great job making sure they're in the right position. In fact, Boss were the ones to force the issue, charging into CT spawn, and that's what delivered that first frag on the retake attempt from NRG and leaving only one player, Ponalone, to try and clutch it out. And with all that util sailing in, I mean, there's just very little chance of it working out for him, even though he tries to go for the AK and get the rifle spray down. Just, I mean, he couldn't see anything. Both from the flashbangs and the smoke and the Molotov, everything combined was just a hellscape for a 33-year-old talent. 6-4 in favor of NRG. Flashbang is going to be sailing out here into the apartments. Darty waiting patiently for his opportunity to strike. A bit of a mixed buy up here from Boss. Very serviceable. Util is pretty strong. And Breeze is here on the other side. Oh, he gets his head spotted out, but he will be backing off. He just wanted to get visibility to confirm when to throw that smoke, and now they might be forced to back off themselves.
Could go through, but it's a little ahead of the schedule they were hoping for. Or if they brace, OC's up here. Changing up the angle of approach. Cryptic getting past it. If he makes the self-play, the boost, the hop into window, I mean, there's no one to receive him here. And he's got it. He succeeded. This is a problem for NRG. The double bricks boost means that they've got no presence here. It's pretty fortunate, I think, for them that Boss are leading in towards the B take.
Very
so
fortunate.
They will be headed into the heavy site. 25 seconds now. There's no chance to bail out of it despite all the space.
What?
But there's Cryptic finding the kill. Unexpected on the rotation, and the site defense has fallen apart. They went into the stack site and they just peeled them away layer by layer, and now they're making onion stew.
Wow, Darty, nice transfer there for the 2K. He was looking sharp on that B take, followed up after the first two were found by his squad to leave Walco isolated alone on an island. He's got an M4, a defuse kit, sees an op in front of him, but won't pick it up just yet because he still has to fight off these boss players. They're likely to charge him. Cryptic loses that fight. There's the op picked up now. I'm probably going to be able to save this. I don't think Boss are going to aggress much further. They just want to keep the stuff they have because their money's not that great either, as we will be going to only a 1-round lead again in favor of NRG.
Update on the other game going live. You can watch over on Flom stream. Party Astronauts just took the first map over Legacy. Legacy's map pick as well. It went to overtime, John. But a 16-12 finish with a 60-30 bomb.
Wow.
Yeah.
60.
Man stepping up.
He gets those performances sometimes, and when he's playing well in these types of tournaments early on, he becomes a very scary customer.
They call him the Chicagoan Coldzera. Throwing it there.
Yeah, I was worried about the Party Astronauts a little bit when they lost to Rush because I thought that Rush really brought that team up to a very high level. But Infinite's been good. I mean, Infinite's a good player, you know. It's just he's had some issues off the server sometimes, you know. But overall, I think that it's the best replacement they could find given the circumstances.
Yeah, I think the distressing thing for Party Astronauts is just it's felt like every time they get some positive momentum going, they get a teammate yoinked, which I'm sure at a certain point as a player just becomes demoralizing. But fortunately, it seems like they're, you know, ready to get back into it, and certainly Infinite, having played with a lot of them before, is a pretty ready-made substitute.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough situation, right? Because they're not salaried players, and then when teams that have the ability to pay salaries come in knocking at the door and saying, "Hey, do you want to play for us and maybe make a little more money?" The choice is kind of obvious for the players involved, right? So.
Yeah, it's a little tough to say, nah, I actually don't like getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Me? No, I like instant ramen. You? I love unseasoned pasta. That's actually just the way I like to live.
Oh, goodness.
I've actually taken the NACSFL of poverty, me personally. Well, look, we'll put this out there, since this is the NA Revival Cup. If anyone's watching who's potentially, you know, looking to follow NRG's example and get back into the scene after a hiatus, or get into the scene for the first time and follow M80's example, Party Astronauts, Boss, you're looking at some potential prospects here. You're looking at some teams that, with some support, with the ability to boot camp, with the ability to actually devote more of their time to the game, have some serious promise.
For sure. I think both Party Astronauts and Boss could benefit from that type of stuff. I would say especially Boss, you know, trying to find themselves a little bit here. That backing. Anyway, Fang is going to get that opener onto automatic for his squad anyway, because it's down to a 4v4 here in the final round of this first half. The second map. If you're just tuning in, it is 1-0 in favor of NRG as they took Inferno. Going alone, walks out, flashbang thrown, and it's a great one from OC. Walco gets one, but only one. Darty, the immediate trade, and Hex is hiding in the smoke. He could be that snake in the grass. He absolutely is. He gets one and almost the second. His teammate Breeze finishes it off, though, Mike, and it will be another 7-5 lead for NRG heading into the second half.
Little rinse repeat from Inferno in that sense. A little bit of a different look this time. I'd say this one's more encouraging for Boss, honestly. And now with the swap over, let's see what they can do on their own CT side. This did look better.
I mean, same scoreline. I think it took more heroic efforts, I would say, from Boss to get to that scoreline, like individual efforts. And this time it felt more like they were working as a team more effectively on their T side. So I agree with you. Looking better. I don't know if it's enough to overcome NRG, who also, I mean, especially on their T side. Yeah, we will, but I mean, their T side was so good on Inferno. I don't know if Boss have enough here.
Double catwalk setup. Bit of a mid look. Up the underpass. There you go. Trouble on.
Ooh.
No casualties just yet. Pone alone. Left low. And here on the ladder, he could be cleaned up quickly. Nice double stack, though. Pone alone. making this work.
Oh, did
Fang all tabbed
crash?
or crash.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Either way, that's going to be a real bummer because that was looking like a real deadly setup. That's not the way you want to lose a pistol. This one's still very much in contention.
Ugh, that's what you call a keyboard smasher, Mike.
You know, just a little indie game. We're smoothing out the edges here.
Oh, God.
Valve, you know, maybe by next major, we won't be having catastrophic crashes.
Yeah, they're a little short on funds, you know?
Yeah, only, what, $1 bazillion a day?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
When we get $2 bazillion a day in skin sales, that's when everything will be peachy keen.
Developing a new game, apparently. I don't
It's
know.
like
I can't,
Smite 2 meets
Yeah.
TF2.
I don't even know. I'm just going to wait until they actually announce it, which who knows if it'll ever happen.
I mean, just give me TF3. Oh,
Honestly,
cryptic.
yeah.
Cryptic. Yeah, maybe tries to play that one a little too slow. Gets caught. Now they're in trouble. One interesting thing is Walco just seems a little lost. He's coming into this one a little late, but it's actually going to work out for him because now he'll hold the catwalk position. It's a little bit of a trump card. Where he's knifing. Feeling a little foolish when he's knifing air. Fresh pulled off of this. This is getting weird. Okay, now the knife comes back out. He connected. Pulls the player off. Freshy's back on. Somehow Darty gets that shot through smoke and... All right.
Wow.
Chaotic pistol. But a pistol for Boss nonetheless.
Wow, I'm surprised they pulled that one back. A little bit of luck going a long way there for Darty, who just spamming the smoke connects with the headshot onto Breeze, who, like you said, maybe looking a little foolish trying to knife air in that situation, but it's understandable given that he heard the tick of the bomb. 6th round found for Boss. That is a critical pistol one. Now they'll have the buy-up coming through. The thing is, the bomb plant means that NRG will have a buy of their own. It's going to feature 2 Galils, 2 Tech 9, Mac 10, and the Deagle for OC, who's very, very good with that pistol. So it's not a done deal for Boss. Not a sure thing, I should say, to get a 7th round here. On lone, waiting in his familiar spot towards window. Oh, Darty could get a 3K here. I feel it. No, he gets nothing! He gets nothing at all!
You curse the man like that.
I'm sorry.
What? Do that,
I'm
you
sorry, Darty.
He's doubting me. Now, I mean, this kill on Cat could be it. Yeah, this is it. This has got to be a safe. Even that might have been an overextension from Fang, but you can understand trying to get in, trying to give it a look, and now... Oh, that's distressing for Boss. 4 spy success. Nothing for young Darty Montana. Send your complaints to at JRT TV. That's JRT TV.
2 E's at the
and
end.
then 2 E's on the end.
Right there.
Twitter.com or X.com now maybe /JRT TVE.
Yeah. Send me all your complaints, guys.
For cursing Darty right there. John loves to read them.
Look, it just felt like that was what was going to happen, and Darty couldn't get anything at all. The Mac 10 peak was just ridiculous from Hext, and he gets 2 on the round, and that's pretty much all they needed at that point. Boss retreating. They save the guns they have left, which is the M4 and the FAMAS, and we move on here. That is just such a shame, again, for Boss not to win that round, not to come out with a convincing start to it, and NRG isolate the pistol round victory and kind of set Boss back to where they started at the beginning of this half. They will still invest into this one. They will not shy away from the 4 spy wars. As the util's going to fly out here into connector. Smoke thrown for T ramp. NRG looked like they wanted to go fast there. And then as soon as the smoke is thrown into their faces, they've completely backed off. They leave the player in Palace lurking, though. That's Breeze.
Slow around here. We're chilling, John.
We are.
Just chilling.
Relaxing.
Letting some time move off. Now we get a smoke out at least. All right. Okay. Boss, we're hoping for some aggression, presumably. With a limited utility, they don't really have their own options. get frisky into these 50 seconds. Now they start to move. Pwn alone strikes first. That's the big gun having its impact. Light presence on A, but they're moving back to reinforce. Oh, the player through mid. This could be a problem. Walko's in window. Walko's in window. He's trying to catch the rotations, but if he gets active here, he hears this. He hears them shifting out towards mid. That's going to hold him his teammates. The timing! That's brutal!
Oh.
Only 2 found. Didn't take the rifle either, but his teammates set up for the trade. And now they're in trouble. Molly ticks Darty. That's going to be her. They know maximum. They have to deal with 1 player. There is that one. And the bomb now down, so time pressure relieved. Fang all alone and quick to follow Darty into the grave.
Brilliant play from Walko. I mean, he sets them up for that execution. I mean, waiting in window until he gets all those audio cues, says, okay, there are a lot of footsteps here. I'm going to poke my head out, gets the first, the second, damage onto the third, which his teammate finishes off, and it is all NRG after that point. Fang and Darty are stuck on the periphery, and I mean, there's just very little they can do with what they had invested into that round. So now, 9-6 for NRG, looking like it's probably going to be 10 with only 2 deagles. And that's it. Purchased up into this round. Everyone else onto the default pistols, with Pwn alone rocking the P2K. Boss, are they stacking? Yeah, they're stacking that A site. Cryptic waiting at Cat, looking for some information. May have spotted the player. I don't think so, actually. He was hiding behind that angle. So probably doesn't know that there's a player top mid and now a second. As NRG are taking their time clearing out these angles. They've got a player lurking in from underpass. B lean seems to be the call, and I think it's going to end up B here, Mike. Oh, automatic.
I mean, that's good initiative taken. Rifle now gained. Extra gun built up. They got one isolated. Walko in trouble, but he's surgical. And the molly's off, so he's got comfort. He's got cover. He's got them all occupied as well. Bomb down and a retake. Whatever percentage chance they had gets a little bit more difficult. Freshie might just want to save this gun.
Yeah, for sure. Odds of success are so low. Just keep the M4 in your hands. Honestly, automatic got caught completely off guard because with Walko towards top mid, maybe he's thinking, okay, Walko's spotted out, there's nothing's there, so I can charge up here or at least walk up slowly, and instead he gets his head taken completely off by the P2K, and Breeze is going to manage to get an exit here. A couple of gun upgrades here. I don't know, Freshie, I don't know why he's in connector that exposed when the objective here is to save those guns to the next round, so he's gone. Fang, the last one standing. Over in window, and this one should be safe. In fact, Breeze goes down to the bomb, a little too close to it. That one won't matter as much because they got plenty of cash. But yeah, no, what I was trying to say was Walko was right there to punish immediately. So automatic knew even when he goes out, even if it doesn't work out, Walko can pop out and get a couple, and it's exactly what goes down. (10-6) for NRG. Boss only saved 1 rifle out of that round, and that means that they'll have a FAMAS instead of it would have been an M4.
Running out of these opportunities as well, right? Staring down the potential of the 2-0. Momentum firmly in NRG's favor. Boss struggling to get their footings on the CT side. It's never fun to play from behind when you're trying to establish a CT economy. Feels like they're not really going to get proper chances with the AWP, with the utility, with what they need. If they can't pull off one of these slightly lesser rounds. Very passive on the CT side as well. Got a little bit of this cheeky double stack here on towards B. That's about it. No player. Walko. Caught slipping. Panning over, not quite realizing what he was seeing. And that is a very nice early find for Cryptic.
Yeah, I think Walko was just trying to look towards window at that point, and as soon as he realized, wait a second, there was someone over at Cat and towards ladder room, it was too late, and he just got caught in transition. So, NRG off of that completely readjust themselves. I think that's a good call to abandon the play towards B. Breeze tapping away. A couple of players here on A. One can be isolated by a smoke. Freshie tries to come out and get a tap, misses the shot. Now they know he's there. resurgence. He's trying to attract that attention. Pwn alone with the crossfire set up. Doesn't get a chance to activate and now has to retreat towards the stairs. Freshy's going to have a world of hurt heading his way, and he's done. Pwn alone still a threat. Now the reinforcements at least have arrived here. Are there any smokes left? There is one for Hex, but he doesn't have time to throw it. They just have to go for straight-on brawl here and fight it out. Cryptic and Pwn managed to get a couple, but 2 on back, and now it's down to a 1v1 that Darty is going to win. 7th round for Boss in a chaotic round on the A-bomb site.
Yeah, I ain't gonna call that one comfortable. That's a clencher for both sides. 6 seconds left on the clock. A 1v1 dance around the A boxes. Woo. That's definitely going to be some pressure relieved over on the Boss side. But not much. Because now this is the real test. Limitations for NRG, but they know that if they can punish here, if they can reset Boss at this juncture, having had to fully reinvest, could just be over. Oh no! Oh no! The failed boost combined with the nade pop and Pwn alone's got OC early. That's a nice find for Boss.
Boss have to be happy here. Work is not done yet. But a little bit of a mix-up there by NRG, and they capitalize. Although NRG are still going to take this mid control. Automatic catches Pwn alone with util in his hands, evens it out at a 4v4, throws a smoke for Cat as well. This is an A-lean. They're just going to pinch onto this site. They want to take advantage of what could be a very significant one with only one player on this site, and he's already isolated Ticket. This is a bomb plant almost certainly if they can ferry the bomb in soon enough. They're trying to use all that util to clear the path, and Breeze is looking over the top of this smoke, hoping he spots ahead, and he's about to. He gets one, not the second. The trade is good. There's still 2 players left here at Ticket, Mike, and Walco and Automatic do the damage. One with the nade, one with the AK. Darty, last one standing.
All falls to young Master Darty. Praying to the power of his mullet right now as he's going to give this a look. Player still on default, hexed in sandwich, and he won't be able to take a bite. Too much between the bread there. That's a gut punch. That's an absolute wind knocked out of you kind of moment. No money, no cash. Taking an eco here, facing down series point, potentially being put on the board by NRG. Yeah, they're not going to risk it. They're going to go for the buy. And now this is... They're not on the same page. Fang's just bought down. Fang's risking it. But with an MP9, he's going to be the hero?
It could be a hero buy.
It could be.
Yeah.
Don't know that I love it.
We'll see.
You going to, what, ace them with an MP9?
Yeah, why not?
I can think of a few reasons. They're named Hexed, Walco, OC, Automatic, and Breeze.
Okay.
But here we go. Okay, hold on. 1 for 1 with the pistols. That's how you want to start.
Don't doubt them, Mike. Don't doubt them. They've got something cooking here.
Well, I mean, there's one reason he won't ace with the MP9. It's Pwn alone. Can't ace with it anymore. They're heading in towards B, so they are heading into the 1 gun. Bang long range. Damage. Somehow finding decent damage off of that. Fang's gone, but Cryptic has struck. It's not the MP9, it was the Deagle all along. Do they know he's still here? They do. They know he's empty. Hex knows it. He's burning. It's just a Pwn alone, but Pwn alone's got the AK to try and pull off this clutch. No armor. Not a lot in his favor. Pwn alone doesn't need a lot. No, he needs a little more than that. Good swap from Hex. Nice recovery for NRG. And point on the board now. Series point at that.
Yeah, Hex having a little fun there at the end. Spamming the bodies. Letting quote-unquote BM. It just looked like he was just fooling around a little bit, though. 12-7 in favor of NRG. 5 rounds available to them to close out this series, as you mentioned. And I mean, look, it didn't go that badly for Boss, and for Pwn alone, it's just because his aim got a little thrown off by the drop out of Blink. If it doesn't, then maybe he pulls that one off, but it was not to be. Automatic. Molotov burning a little bit, and look, NRG don't want to waste any time. Hex is already out towards Tetris. The Palace player's coming through as well. The nades will sail back and forth, but there isn't that much util for Boss. The guns are going to do the job, though. Cryptic the opener onto Hex. He continues to push forward, knows there's a player in Palace, NRG have been really good at pulling the plug when the first salvo doesn't really work out, and it looks like they might be doing that again here. He's slowing it up. Oh, automatic though. Walks right out. Didn't know Fang was that close. Now we have a 5v3, and Boss are just trying to hang in there. A clean round is important for them here, so they don't have to reinvest. Should they even get the win, because Breeze is still alive. He gets Fang, makes it only a one-man disadvantage, and they're going to put the pressure on now.
Oh! Walker wins that exchange. Breeze as well chiming in, and the A defense is gone. So all the good early work has been wiped off of the board. And now Molotov's going to limit. Oh, the gap's been found. Home alone. Flashbang good. He's on the angle. Walker was ready for the re-peek. It all falls to Darty. Another 1v3 required of him. See, he steps to the plate this time. Finds the first. Knocks it out of the park. But the problem is, as soon as you make contact with one, the other's going to peek. Actually, they're playing safe. OC not even risking it. It's Breezy's get it back into. Gun barrel spotted. One shot to put him down. Another strong map from NRG. This one, a bit more fight from Boss, but they could never get stuck into that second half here, John. They could never get the economy going. As soon as they got the reset, it just felt like all the wind went out of their sails, and it was NRG all the way.
Yeah, NRG kept getting those gut punch rounds, right? It felt like for moments that Boss, okay, they're going to get into it here. They're going to get into it. NRG just goes, nope, no, you're not. Right in the gut. They're gone and out. And it's just really unfortunate for Boss. At least we're seeing that, progress is being made, that the system is starting to work a little bit here and there. It's just that, like I was saying before, NRG's is full on, let's go, full speed ahead. Everything's working for them. When their key fraggers go down, like Breeze or Hex, Walco's there to get a little bit of action, and the rest of the squad can pick up the pieces. But Breeze, talking about him, impressive stuff. He's going to continue to be an important piece to them moving through this mythic NA Revival Cup. Powered by Lenovo Legion. And I mean, yeah, I'm just impressed by NRG overall. They looked so cohesive, Mike.
They did. They're really starting to look like the team we hoped they would be when this roster was announced. It's very encouraging. It's very exciting as well. To have another potential contender coming out of North America. That's what it's all about here at the NA Revival Cup is getting this region as a whole more competitive, giving our teams more of an opportunity to compete, to have this chance to show themselves in officials, to show what they can do, and to have some support along the way. So that's what we're about here. So we're very happy to see, and it's encouraging for NRG that they've been able to do this bit by bit, get stronger and stronger every time we see them. As the header shows, more NACS is coming up next. We've got a game between M80 and a team that I'm very excited to watch for the first time ever in Regain, one of the teams that made it through the open qualifier yesterday. So excited to see what they could do up against one of NA's strongest squads right now in M80. We'll find out after this break.
You're everything to me, and you don't know me nothing. This is where I wanna be, baby. Let me tell you something. You're everything to me, and I don't need nothing. This is where I wanna be. Yeah. Stay with me until dawn comes. I will be the only one as I grow. I love you more. That is all we're living for. Stay
everybody, welcome back as we get ready to get our second series underway here, this time between M80 and Regain. And John, I'm going to be completely honest, Regain, very much new faces to me. Pretty excited to see what they're going to be able to do today.
Yeah, as well, honestly, like it's going to be curious because, like you said, we don't really have much information on them. I do know they're an advanced squad, and they're 7-4 in advance this season. I think Slow was telling us as well. A couple of these players are actually in what's it called? Face it.
The Proving Grounds.
Yeah, the Proving Grounds. There you go. I couldn't get the words out.
So they're making their way up. I mean, it's a young squad, it's young players. Average age is 21.3. Relative unknowns to us, which usually is a pretty strong sign that they have not necessarily made their debuts just yet, but this is a heck of a time to do it. What's more NA Revival Cup than discovering new talent here? It's those kind of opportunities that are powered by Lenovo Legion here at the NA Revival Cup. And I mean, what a test for them, right? In the first round up against M80. It's like, okay, great. You made it through the qualifier. Very impressive. Now deal with the Mobsteak.
It's the worst possible matchup they could have had, honestly. Like M80 is at the top of their game right now, and I would argue at the top of ECL in general, in terms of that level of play. So it's not going to be easy. I think what we do know is that Joshi is their Opper. I believe Sasha is their IGL. So there's some information there. And I've heard good things about Ray XTS. So that's kind of like the extent of the information we've got. They do have some officials recorded on HLTV. They played in the RMR Open qualifier against Cloud10, and we're competing with them, but I think Cloud10's also like the same kind of level as Regain. When they played against Fluffy Aimers, that's one team that they've had success on in the IM Chengdu Open qualifiers, but they got absolutely battered by NRG and Badass, which is not promising going into this one.
Still, this is a prime opportunity to show what they've got, right? This is a chance to to display what they can do, to show off, and against a very capable squad, a squad that's been looking phenomenal in M80, really since Sin's gotten activated. I think Sin, I think, may have just made his way over to the US.
Yes,
he tweeted the other day that he was hopefully playing his last game on high ping. So hopefully that means he's over here. But even if he's not, this is going to be a very tough task.
I believe he is, because he was on the plane to the US when they were playing one more. That's why Stamina stepped in to play with the squad, which they still won 13-5 and 13-4 in Mirage and Vertigo. They weren't really fussed by them. But yeah, Sin should be in the US. I believe he's playing tonight. As far as I understand, he's already settled in and ready to join his squad.
And I mean, with an eye towards the future, this is an M80 team that's going to be having a chance to compete in Dallas, right? This is a team that's got a very exciting NACS event coming on up, an international CS and NA in Dallas. So that's a very exciting prospect. That's something to keep an eye on for M80 as we gauge their progress. They had a great showing in Pro League. Couldn't make it through to the playoffs, but definitely had the opportunity. Took the win over G2. Had some great matchups, great series there. You know, just a couple of rounds away from the playoffs. Really prime opportunity. So, going to be an exciting thing to see what this M80 team is now. You know, those kind of wins, showing off well, not necessarily making it all the way, that makes you hungry. That makes you hungry to get the dub, to get the playoffs, to get that next step, to become that team. And they've only been playing with Sin for like a month. It's crazy how quickly this has come together.
No, they got up to speed quickly. They were also hungry to get that final five, you know, that fifth player onto the roster and actually play with a proper IGL joining up with them. And yeah, it didn't take them long. They just were ready to rock, and they've jumped right into the swing of things and gotten the practice under their belt, and everything was looking good. I mean, it was looking good before Manx decided that he was going to step away from the game for a little bit, and it's totally understandable. It happens sometimes. You burn out and you don't want to continue because it's a risk to your health. And, you know, I think Manx is doing better now, which is great. But, you know, M80 had to move on, and Sin was that answer for them. And they took their time to look for a replacement, right? They were saying, okay, we got to make sure we make the right choice. And I absolutely believe that they did. And he is joining the server, confirming his presence.
There we go. He exists on American soil now. Shout out to Sin, joining NA. Welcome to it. You know, that's my Philadelphia player right there. That's a Philadelphia finalist right there.
That's right. Sin. That's right.
Nothing more
17.
quintessentially North American. We got confirmation he's on 5 ping now. So yeah, presumably in
Nice.
Dallas itself with that kind of ping. But yeah, confirmation, Philadelphia finalist. What's more American than that?
Yeah, exactly. He had the American experience. He wanted to get another taste of it, and when the call came, he did not deny it. He wanted to join up with this M80 roster. Yeah, no, but what I was going to say as well was it's heartbreaking a little bit for M80 because Malbs in particular has been on the precipice so many times, and he was tweeting about it, and I kept hoping. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. We're gonna get that Malbs tweet where it's like, yeah, we got playoffs, and no, it's just another one. Oh, we're so close, and they were so close twice to getting past that line, but just not happening yet. The most impressive display they've had so far, though, throughout all of their attempts. And again, like we're excited as people from NA wanting to see another NA squad step up to the plate, and I think it's legitimate this time.
Yeah, definitely feels that way. It feels like a sustainable build where the pieces make sense, the pieces work together, and the pieces seem to be elevating each other as well. And there's good chemistry as well. Talking to those guys at events like Atlanta, they genuinely like each other. They enjoy each other's presence. They enjoy, this journey that they're all on together. It's been with its bumps, had its bruises, but I think this is a team that continues to be on the rise and that has the full support of their org as well, which is very exciting and encouraging, and it's cool to see as well for M80 is an organization that hasn't even been in the game for a year at this point and have already had a lot of success come out of this roster that they've built. Have already shown a penchant for thoughtful construction of the roster, and now, I mean, they're a team that, especially as we hear that there might be changes in the Liquid camp, that there might be turmoil in the Liquid camp, this is a squad that could cement themselves alongside Complexity at the very top of our region.
Yeah, which is amazing. I'm kind of sad to hear about that turmoil in the Liquid camp. Honestly, I thought that things were going okay. I didn't think it was as bad as it is. Obviously, behind the scenes, clearly something's wrong. So hopefully they get that sorted. But focusing, more in on this one, why don't we talk about the veto, Mike, and what maps we've got here? Yeah.
Let's talk about the veto. What is the veto?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
All right, taking a look. Regain will take out Dust 2. They're so young, they may not have been playing the last time Dust 2 was in the pool. M80 will ban Nuke. Anubis will be picked by Regain. Ancient picked by M80. And the decider, if we get to it, is going to be Vertigo. That's our veto.
Anubis, Ancient, and Vertigo, the three newest additions to the pool coming out here. I love me some Anubis and Ancient, though. So that's going to be a very good start to this one. I mean, we don't have, like we said, much information on Regain as to what maps might be strong for them and how they're going to perform at this level. But on M80's side, we know that Ancient is very, very good for them. Plus 46 round differential. You look over at Vertigo, also strong. 7 times they played over the last 3 times, 5 and 2. And then you look at the final one, well, not the final one in terms of the series, but the second map of the series, or first map, I should say, Anubis, and that one's actually not that great. So I totally understand Regain saying, okay, if we're going to have a chance of taking this one, let's go for the punish pick against M80. The thing is, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I actually think their Anubis is pretty good. I think the record doesn't necessarily show it right now. They've traded out some maps. The series against BetBoom, they lost their first map of EPL, where they definitely looked to not be in things yet. And then as they gelled in, as they got comfortable, looked a lot better. Realistically, should have closed the last one in regulation. Sorry, different word. This is still a pretty strong map for M80. I think they like a bit of Anubis. We'll see. They've certainly got a nice, easy bomb plan in this one. Regain setting up with a heavy mid presence, and well, they'll need to regain control of the site. They got nothing right now. Oh, 1 kill goes their way, and then a whole lot of not. Whole lot of not here, John. They are locked out behind a smoke, and Sin doesn't even want to let them through it.
It's probably a little bit of nerves right now for Regain, right? Because they were watching M80 more than likely play at Pro League, so they're thinking, man, I can't believe we're going to be going up against these guys. And, they assaulted it pretty quickly. Only 1 frag available to them, and that's Sasha dropping that with the pistol, but everything else, M80 taking control. And yeah, like right there, just 3 in a row, instantaneously deleted from the site, and Sin just pops around the corner to get that one as well. I mean, obviously, and we expected this going into this matchup, M80 are the absolutely heavy favorites. But like you were saying before we got to the break, Regain is a team we'd love to see perform well on this stage. It's a team, it's their chance to, shine in the limelight and get some attention drawn to it.
It's also about expectations, right? If you're M80, the expectation is that you utterly stomp out the competition. So if Regain can upset that expectation in any way, shape, or form, it's encouraging. If they show out well here, that's great. If they push M80 on a map, that's great. If they win a map, tremendous. If one player looks like a potential hot prospect, still huge. This is more eyeballs you've had on your team than maybe in anything you've ever played before, right? It's all about the stage. It's all about what that opportunity means for Regain. It's all about us looking at that with fresh eyes and just, this is their chance to make an impression as individuals and as a squad. And yeah, it's a tough test. Don't get me wrong. It is not an easy stage that they have to perform on, but it's an opportunity, and that's the way the players got to be thinking about it.
Yeah, and I think also an opportunity for themselves kind of ECL level, of course, is their next objective, being in advance right now. Nothing going to happen into this round, though. Just the USBs walk in and say, hello, I've got a MAC-10, you got nothing, and I'm going to collect a couple $1,200. 2-0 in favor of M80.
It is sort of the classic thing that you have to do in these, shall we say, weight class mismatch. You have to make them respect you. That's the first step. You have to shut down some of these more straight, because right now M80, you'd imagine they're going to run a lot of very straightforward plays, either defaults or just straight up sight takes, not do a whole lot of sneakery, not do a whole lot of confusing plays, not necessarily going deep into the play, because they're anticipating that pound for pound, mano a mano, they can just outskill this team pretty comfortably. So if you regain, the first step is to make them sit back and go, all easy street. Slacks sacrifices himself, but does get the opener on Sukar. Now pressure in towards A. Rinse repeat of what we've seen so far, and it's looking pretty good. That mid control is just very tough. You can't sustain it. Good trade, even numbers. This does set up a retake, but
Positioning.
maybe a tough retake.
Yeah, the positioning is really poor right now for Regain. I mean, they have two players so far away, and yeah, very slow making their move up back to this site. So M80 is just settling themselves in, and yes, no kits at all to help them out. So it'll be a full 10-second defuse, and at this point, I feel like, well, let's see what they get when they poke around here. Joshy with nope, nothing gonna happen at all. Bulbs catches off the player. He's gonna keep charging up. And exit frags gets one, does a lot of damage to Sin, but Ray XTS is already out of here, saving the M4. So nothing doing for Regain.
Terrorists win
on their bonus. I respect the attempt, Mike. I mean, they were just trying to poke around and see if they could find one, and they did do a decent amount of damage, but it would have been better to call it off.
Yeah, I think being aware of the situation, right? You're slow on the rotates, you're shift walking the whole way. You're not going to have time as you get in. You don't have kits. There might have been one down on the initial attempt, so if the A-main player got through, maybe that makes a difference. But yeah, it's... is what it is in that sense. But yeah, a more experienced team might pull the plug in that kind of a situation. It's just, it happens. It happens. Kind of a half in, half out. Getting the B attempt. Haven't seen that just yet. Swisher. Cock going wide. The boost up behind the obelisk. Surprising to him. And considering the 1 M4, they now know where it is. And guess what? They're leaning back towards A.
5v4 here. Breck, oh my goodness, just dry peeking Sasha and deleting him off the bomb site. Now he's spinning around, and oh, actually will get punished by Zukar. Zukar ends up getting traded. Sin will deliver that, and the B site is under the, excuse me, A site under the control of M80. Yeah, it's either A or B, right? 50-50 chance of guessing right.
I mean, this is a map where it feels
I always
like...
get crossed up on Anubis, always.
Yeah, it's wrong, right? Based on the way Counter-Strike net map naming nomenclature goes, it does feel like this should be B and the other A.
Exactly.
Joshy, hold on. This retake might have some legs to it. Decent positioning, big kill for Sin. Now they're both coming from heaven. Both in a tough spot. Slacks is tagged. Finds the issue. That flashbang. Oh no. That was Slacks' flash. Sin
Wow.
eats it. Full on. It's a disaster.
Is there time?
I think there's just barely enough time for this. Whoa, it's gonna be close. Nope,
No.
he's not got it. He bailed out. Oh, so they get enough. No survivors, but no round win for Regain.
Yeah, great effort from Dark there to try and get it done. He gets a couple, but he runs out of time, right? Just didn't have the defuse kit, and that's gotta hurt for Regain, right? You managed to take down all the M80 players in a round where, honestly, it didn't have much. It was an eco for them, but M80 still close it out. But that's gotta give them a little bit of hope going to this full-on buy. 3 M4s, the AK, and the AWP. Mentioned Joshy being the one to rock that one. We'll see how effective he can be against Slacks. An intimidating matchup for him to go up against. Oh, Joshy actually gets flashbang there, misses the shot. There is a trade that comes through. Joshy gets a chance to re-peek and reposition himself, and Dark, who's been one of the more lethal players here so far for the Regain roster, is looking for another one. Good smoke pop coming through. Swisher lucky to get away from that attack. Throws a flashbang, spams through the smokes and connects on the Joshy. That might have been a headshot through the wall as Joshy's down to 27. Oh, chat is correcting us here. We were actually wondering the pronunciation of DVRK. Apparently it's Dirk, not Dark.
Dirk? Okay,
Yeah.
so hear me out, kids. I don't know why this has become the latest dumb nickname trend. If you replace the vowels in your name with a V, and we don't know what your tag is, we don't actually know what the vowel is supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
This is the V instead of the vowel is the newest writing your nickname backwards. And it turns out that actually just having recognizable nickname is valuable brand identity.
Absolutely.
Speaking of value, that's what Rek's gonna find him. I don't know if he knew, but if he didn't, either way, Suka gets the kill. Fox trying to fight forward, off to the side, are just going for the clear, and he's got it as well, taking the initiative there. Now they're in big trouble. And Dirk, or Dork, or Dark, or Dvorak, or whatever his tag might be, is
Dovahkiin.
going to back away and go into the safe.
Alrighty. Yeah, the op saved, the M4 saved. M80 are losing bodies, you know, the economy isn't exactly healthy on their side, so at the very least Regain are making life difficult for M80, but it's not enough to get them a round win just yet. 5-0 in favor of the favorites.
Thank you for indulging my old man rant in the last round.
It's okay, Mike. Has to happen sometimes.
Yeah, kids these days make their nickname all silly. In my day, we just put numbers in and called it leet speak. Some X's for Xbox Live before and after your name.
Backwards names and numbers all over the place. That's what we did.
These kids. What do we got? Fast aim main control potentially being contested here by Rek. I mean, fair credit to M80. They are playing this, at least so far, quite standard. They're not getting overly aggressive. They're not trying to just run it down. They are showing some respect onto this Regain squad.
Yeah, you definitely, like you said before, like the best thing you can hope for if you're Regain is that M80 has to put their best foot forward to beat you. Like they have to pull out their normal strategy, not just take fights over smokes and get frags on you.
That was a cheeky peek.
Yeah.
The bouncing head out of the smoke. I don't even think Sasha realized what was happening there. That's been unfortunate. I mean, the best thing they could hope for, John, is that they win this match and then win the whole NA Revival Cup.
True. I should. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic.
But I'm more realistic. I'm with you. It's about making the best impression that you can. Now, pressure on. I haven't seen a whole lot of this here at the B site. Josh, he's back into a corner. Can't really do anything with his AWP, and now he is all alone. 5 to find. His position still an unknown. But that's about all you can say is working in his favor. Do they overlook it? Swisher seems to know. He could have been here the whole time. And indeed, as the smoke fades, the check will come through. And this one is oh so very clean for M80.
That was a great play by Mobs, just getting the info peek, or I should say info hop, over the top of the smoke, lines it up through it, and then clears the way with the AK bullets. Wreck in the meantime, just making it look easy into Con, and then Sin waiting for that flanker to come through. Very straightforward for me. Still, I mean, everyone has fallen by the wayside. The only one with limited deaths here is Wreck. Regain are going to go for force buy here. It's going to be a, well, I should say force buy, half buy coming through. Uh-oh, you don't want that to be happening when you're playing M80. The nade misses and lands at the feet of both players, doing a lot of team damage.
Suboptimal.
Yeah.
Is Zucker going to come through this? We're just playing the fade. The flashbang going through. Flashbang catches. Nice setup. Nice little team play there. Sasha sets it up. Zucker knocks it down. There's only one player here on B. That's the big issue, though. If they just rock out B main, Ray is in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Support coming in the form of Dirk. Sin, hands full, only finds the one. Now that's going to propel them forward. He's once again just Ray. And all right, Swisher and Mobs pretty snappy on that shooting. If you're Regain this round in isolation, it's a save. It's going to be a save as well because they just don't really have the weaponry to propel themselves back into this. But you're starting to get into the situation 7-0 down where maybe some of these lesser rounds, maybe some of these riskier moments, you kind of just got to go for it.
Yeah, and
you
they
kind of just got to get weird, John.
Yeah, I agree. And they have money to buy up in the next round anyway. So, like, being conservative in this situation, you don't need to be. It's a 2v3. You need rounds. You need to make something happen. Try for it. And, well, instead they will just be more conservative. And yes, it will yield them a much stronger buy-up. The U2 will be full. Everything will be great into this next round. But looking at that scoreboard, it's 7-0. There's only 5 rounds left in this half for them to make their mark. Granted.
In fairness to them, it is Anubis.
I was going to say exactly that, Mark. Yeah.
You don't need that much sometimes on your CT side to make it more viable. But you do need more than a donut.
Yes. More than 0. Well, yeah, Anubis, one of the only maps, in fact, the only map in the pool that's significantly T-sided. And Regan are going to call a timeout to talk things over. That's
Where's Dust 2 stacking up early on?
Dust 2?
Yeah, do we have a big enough sample size on Dust 2 to think about it in pro play yet?
I don't think
I expect it to be substantially CT-sided, but I'm not actually sure.
No. I think in the latter parts of CSGO, and I don't know if this is going to change in CS2, but in the latter parts of CSGO, it felt like the lean was more towards the T side, but Dust 2 tends to be a pretty balanced map. So, I mean, the lean being T side is probably like 55-45, and, you know, you're going to have a lot of great duels on Dust 2. But we'll see. Like, the sample size, in my opinion, isn't there yet for us to determine where it's going to lean. And I think there's a lot of interesting strats that can be employed on Dust 2. And, especially with the smoke pops existing, it changes everything.
Based on the last month of play, giving a filter for top 50 teams. Hold on. Okay, Sukar, hold on. They're getting going.
Oh
my goodness.
What
the bombs
is
were
this?
delivered to them. This was the faster play. M80 just trying to hit the gas, and well, they may have just run into a wall. We're talking stats, and they're talking kills, and Regain might just be on the board here. Slacks, what do you got for us? He's gonna back away. I mean, he's got all the time in the world, right? So right now he's trying to hunt up a flank, potentially go for a cheeky rotate that they're not expecting. There should be plenty of money, so there's no real concern for the save. But he's gonna try and make his way up through mid and hope that maybe they've lost track of him. To be fair, very well might be the case.
Watching, right?
They're watching, yeah. Player out towards Fountain's got eyes on this. the Gigabrain play would be if he would respawn. Oh, hold on. Slash has
uh-oh.
found the first. This isn't settled business. We know what he could do. We know how dangerous this Opera can be. Spots the
saw
Heaven
him.
player. He knows he's got it. Trying to jiggle it,
Oh.
but Joshy won't flinch. Good patience there on the angle. Regain. They are on the board.
We talked about forcing your opponent to respect you when you're this much of an underdog, and that is a round that does it. M80 decided to just put the pedal to the metal, try and charge into the site, and Regain get every single answer they need. Sure, Slacks makes it interesting towards the latter part of the round by picking off one and then getting the spot on the second, but Joshy is good for it as well. Hits the op shot, and he's sitting at 4-4, and Zukar as well, who's been a big piece for them. 7 frags for himself, is tied with Sin on the serve for that. The leader on the serve right now is, of course, Mobs. He's had a ridiculous run of form lately.
So,
yeah.
off of the first month of play,
Which is...
51.7% T win on D2.
There you go.
So currently D2 is leading. But that tends to be the case with maps that are working their way back in the pool. They start out, you figure out the T utility, you figure out the CT, it goes back and forth. Problem is that, you know, Dusty, we already knew it all.
Yeah.
It's done,
Well,
done.
Yeah. The smokes
change
change
anything
things
about
up
it,
a
man.
little bit, though. Yeah, like the smokes, the mechanics of them are what's going to be the difference maker. And Joshy gets the opener again here on to Mobs. I think we got to start paying more attention here to Regain because
Gotta
they're
lock in.
starting to get going, yeah.
Got to lock in indeed. This is going to be the split in towards A. The problem is it is just Swisher on one arm of the split. Players here in the defense. Smoke up, blocks the Heaven view. Zukar's ready for this player through mid. They might be conceding the bomb plant here. And now as Swisher clears in towards Heaven, this could be trouble. How far forward does he want to go? Zukar playing so patient on it. Molotov on. Does he swing off of this or did he back off? They're expecting the player in the Heaven. Smoke walks through, but
wow.
Sasha catches the timing. Now he knows he's a goner. On the next, take the fight. That one, a bit of an
What's
overextension,
happening?
perhaps. It's going to need to be Sin and Slacks. The Germans still in the server. Oh, Sin! The IGL! The captain! The man who just got into the country this week! Looking to send out captain, but the gun just peeking out of the smoke and finding Sin! Pure blind spray from Ray!
Oh my goodness.
And it's enough!
Ray pulling it off. I mean, Sin didn't necessarily have to get that aggressive, but he did. Maybe he was just feeling it and thought he could find that final one a little bit quicker, but just run the time off the bomb. I mean, I think if he just waits, then there's no chance to really go for that defusal because he's still got to hunt down the last player, but Sin decides to take the fight, and Ray immediately gets him. Okay, second round found for Regain in a row. The economy is still healthy enough for M80. That's how strong of a run they went on to get to those 7 rounds to get a full-on buy-up. But they're going to run out of gas now. Should they lose this one as well? Dirk charging up. Here's the aggression. You know, they got a bit of confidence. Couple of rounds in a row. Let's try and force the issue. Get M80 to be uncomfortable. Slacks is waiting for it and... Oh, misses the shot! He had the information from the barrel of the gun as well, but instead misses it, and Dirk is able to escape without losing a single bit of HP, Mike.
Put this together. That's another miss. Okay, this one from the other side. So they both exchanged slight missed opportunities. Joshy a bit more punished for it. They know the ops here. And maybe still look like they want to pressure on towards B. Going for the split, in towards Cave, in towards Dark. It is fitting that Dirk is defending Dark.
Indeed.
But it's Sin who gets the last laugh, and now the bodies are hitting the floor. One by one they go. M80 shake things up, head towards the other side of the map, and, well, it yields dividends. Bomb planted, no hope here for Zukar. And despite the 2-round wins, there's really been no cash squirreled away. They're going to find themselves without an acorn to lean back on. Regained, look, they got themselves 2. They've given themselves something. Anything else they can squeeze out of this half will at least give themselves a chance to make a map of this.
Yeah, I mean, already getting 2 is good because it didn't look like they were even going to get to that point the way M80 started this. And uh-oh, Zukar can't save. Slacks hunts him down with the AWP, and M80 secure that 8th round without allowing a single regain member to survive. And it's unfortunate for Joshy because I think he had a couple of opportunities to get an op shot off and couldn't connect on it. And right here, even more unfortunate is not being able to save anything into this next round because their economy will not afford them the luxury of buying up here and into that next round. They have to choose. Do they force up twice? Or do they save here and go for a full buy in the final round? The answer is, of course, they are saving here and going for the full buy afterwards. Slacks going out with the AWP towards mid. The stack is in towards this A site.
Got a question for you, John.
Yes.
What do you think Slacks' favorite pants are?
Slacks' favorite pants. Mike, I don't know. Let's say Slacks, right? That's what I'm going to say. Rek's going to answer here with
actually,
4.
You'd think that, though.
Yeah? Okay.
Big denim guy. Big denim guy.
Fair enough. Rek gets the easy 4K there. Going for the ace. The anti-eco ace. Mr. Rek will not get it. Sin steals it away.
So rude. That's not leadership right there.
It's like, you're not getting that. No way.
Sniping your teammate's ace. So rude. We used to be a country.
What?
Anyway.
What's
Final round of the half. Guns back up here for regain, as they have regained a bit of economy. And let's see if they can get just a little bit of sweetness as we head into half. They've at least given themselves a chance once the side switch. But might need a little bit more than a fighting chance. Joshy, good shot. Against mobs, I mean, he's one of the most lethal quick peekers we got here in North America. The trade is swift. And with mid loss now, regain. Don't have a lot of confidence about which way this is headed, but of course it's headed back towards A. That's been the first look in most of these rounds. If it's available, you know M80 bringing the pressure.
Oh, yeah. M80. Going into the A site. Okay, Sasha gets 1, Zukar another. Slacks is desperately fighting here, but he goes down to 14 and Rek down to 4 after finding that. This is a significant chance for Regain to find their 3rd round, and they obviously have to go for it because it's the last one of this half. I mean, look at that. Only 18 HP combined. The nade goes in, but that's not a good one to throw, unbeknownst to Regain, of course, who are just trying to connect onto those damaged players. Slacks misses the shot. A chance even more so now as Rek by his load some 4 HP, and they might molly him out here.
He's done. If they put the molly down, he can't peek.
There it is.
He can't peek. He's past it. He has to go past it, and they hold the angle. Dirk reads it right.
Wow.
Beautifully done. Nice retake on defuse to boot. 3 rounds here for Regain. They have given themselves a true fighting chance as we swap sides to show us why they picked Anubis, to show us what they're planning here, and to force M80 to contend with this upstart squad.
Yeah, Zukar's impressed quite a bit, and I mean, good setup there with Sasha to ensure that, you know, if one goes down, they get the trade, but they get better than that. They get 2 in a row, and after that, just so much damage done when they were getting dropped in that early engagement towards the B site that you left these 2 players left in a 2v2 that have so little HP that there's not much they can fight for if even one bullet grazes them from Regain, and more than that happens. And not to mention a perfect Molotov thrown into A main to deny Rek any space to work with and just flush him out completely. So well done, well earned there in that 3rd round that Regain picked up. Now they're going to switch sides to their T side, and maybe they've got something cooking here.
Maybe. Light sight they've found. Swisher still exacts a heavy toll, but the bomb should be going down. The first step on this checklist is accomplished. Sin gets his bell rung. Pressure on. How's he staying alive? Eventually taken down, but teammates lost for the Regain side. They're trying to battle in, chasing Rek, but it's a bait. Slacks. Meanwhile, the threat behind it. It all falls to Dirk. And he will be looking like a little bit of a jerk, perhaps, at the end of that one. Still, bomb plant down. It's not the worst thing in the world, but M80 comfortable in the pistol.
That was very comfy. Swisher on the fadeaway gets the opener, making things a little more uncomfortable for Regain. And, you know, M80, we're already kind of set up for a retake situation there, and that's the clinical shot that Swisher gets. Always good for those. Already into double digits, kind of around that Regain needed, I would say, given they only had 3 in that first half. They will be forcing up. The good news is they got the bomb plant, so that will make them a little more effective here. And pretty much have a similar buy-up to what M80 are bringing into this round. The only difference is an extra rifle. Slacks rocking the AUG, which was used a lot more often in the early days of CS2. Now it's just about the same usage as CSGO. And a slow start to this one for Regain, Mike. They're just taking their time.
Yeah, waiting out the choke point util.
Yeah.
Thinking about what they want to do. Seems like this is going to be a B exec when all is said and done, just because they don't have any canals presence right now. Could be a mid play, actually. I might be misreading this. I was thinking they were going to split, you know, 3 B main, 2 drop canals, try and go for the pinch. But actually, they're shifting this up very much so. With a minute on the clock, now they're moving in towards the mid presence, and Mindy's got nothing here. Mindy's got nothing to dissuade them from this. It's Slacks holding very deep in towards A as their mid presence. Smoke over for Temple. So it does want to be an A finish, but Slacks has to come up big. Plus the first, they jump away. Now he's flashed, has to back off. Rotation might need to be here, but they spot the Carpet's presence, and now Slacks gets his as well. That's a very big kill for Rek. Allows the rotation to come through. Keeps them from being a major threat. And Rek even denies the bomb plant. That's just a lineup. Goes from bad to worse here for Regain, but at least they've got that bomb planted. It wasn't actually denied. I lied.
It's okay.
Happens.
It's close. It was a great spam from Rek, though. Lineup and everything. Swisher's waiting with the UMP, and there it strikes once more. Sasha, the last one. Position known. He manages to get a frag, but he's going to have to fade away and give up the bomb defusal just to keep this Galil in his hands. He knows the situation. Unfortunate that he's not able to fight away and try to deny that, but has to save what he can and go into that next round, hope for something better. 11-3 in favor of M80. That's really a good spot from Rek, though.
That is. That is. It's something he likes to do on the other side, right? So he knows to be looking for it. Very aware player, that Rek. Great presence of mind, especially considering, I feel like I always have to point out, he's still so young. He's so young.
Yes, he is, yeah.
He's 20. 20
Crazy.
years old.
Like, I feel like I've been casting him forever, honestly.
I think he's been competing since he was like 14.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Definitely.
still a young gun. A lot of room to grow.
It's been a while, yeah. Used to be the Rek monster. Now he's just Rek.
Still a monster in his own right, as
Yes,
the
he is.
16-6 scoreline here does indicate. Just such a reliable piece for them as well, to bookend their various setups. Regain, again, waiting out the initial utility. Looks like they want to focus in towards it. Good flashbang. Rek, this time, after we're praising him, the curse comes out again. Might be a bomb plant. Bomb's lost on the rotation as well. There's still a player to contend with in mid. That's going to slow up any retake that M80 might be going for. And they could just back away from this. Bomb not down yet. There it goes. They're not going to back away from this.
No.
They're in fact going to give it a look.
They're fighting.
Trade's going in there. Now it's a brawl. Double A main presence. Is there any utility? There is. There's a smoke and a kit. Smoke comes out. Kit goes out.
Oh, no.
They can't find the diffuser. And Slacks will make sure they can't find anything else at all. A 4-piece for Slacks. And the round is his.
2v4 panning out there for M80 Slacks. As you mentioned, the 4K leading the charge, but Sin by his side. They're doing all the damage, the Germans, and that is just a beautiful retake coming through. Unfortunate for Regain because they ran out of util, and that one smoke making the difference and ensuring that the defusal comes through. And even if it isn't there, Slacks gets all the damage and the frags that his team needs. 17-6 for Slacks. Rek right behind him at 16-7. And I mean, M80 has 9 chances to close out this map and send us on over to Ancient. We're going to need something special from Regain for them to get back into this one.
Looking at this guy. Looking at Zukar. He's been decent. He's been solid. Had some good moments here towards A. Now he's going to try and find a space solo dolo. But he realistically needs to have it. He's got it. Spam fight. Ret giving away his position with tracers, and those tracers are followed up. Is it enough? A little bit of a different question. Swisher lost. Uh-oh.
How did Ray take that damage?
Tight
Sorry.
behind now.
We didn't see that.
I believe that would have been the duel with Swisher.
Yes, sorry, you're right, you're right. Okay.
Out B main, presumably trying to get a little bit of space there, getting aggressive with it, getting caught. That smoke makes a world of difference for Mobs, but I'm surprised no one from M80 has leaned over to help him out.
Don't need to help on Mobs. He helps himself.
They just with some sort of utility there, in towards the cave.
Oh.
Or it was just preemptive. It was actually preemptive Canal's utility. To make sure that their back was covered.
Interesting. Kind of like that.
It's confident. I'll say that.
So M80 looking for one here, and they're going to get it. Slacks finding Joshy, and I think they're going to go. I mean, last time they did, so it's the same 2 guys.
They don't have time. They don't have time. It's too long of a rotation.
Oh.
If they play for contain and they play for exits here to keep them from getting anything out of this round.
Yeah,
this is the smarter play.
Yeah, come on, guys. Make the fun play.
They just didn't have time. They didn't have the clock. And I mean, this is absolutely the meta play. The long-term play. This is M80 showing respect, playing these rounds as they should, just not racing in for every fight that they can, instead making sure that no money makes it through, that they've saved some guns, that Regain's gonna have to fully reinvest, and that with this AWP and this rifle, they can put together a very dangerous round in the next.
I honestly thought Mobs was gonna get 2 here. Like, he just misses his transfer and goes a little bit wide to the left, and player survives with 30 HP, and after that, like you said, Slacks and Sin, 2 out of position, unable to get back onto that bomb site in time, and they just bottle up Regain in order to ensure that they don't get any money out of the round and are forced to reinvest here, which is, I mean, they have to reinvest fully anyway going into this one, but it means Galil's instead of AKs just to get that utility, and that's a bit of a disadvantage here, but Dirk still makes it work against Mobs, which is not an easy task. 5v4 in favor of Regain. Zukar, who's been the one to watch here with 13 frags on the board for his squad, throwing that Molotov might overlook Rek, and he does, but still flicks around and manages to get the frag anyway. In the meantime, Ray is delivering frags on the other side of the map, and Dirk takes out Slacks. They haven't lost a body yet.
Wild. Wild. What a world of difference in this one. A confidence builder for sure. So a long road to go, but this is a very impressive next step. Sin's going to be thinking about this one. Just have to try and keep this AK alive, but that's a round that Regain are going to look back on fondly. This is what we were talking about, right? This is a prime opportunity. Every one of these good rounds, every one of these good opportunities, John. It's a display. It's an audition. It's showing up well. And they've just given themselves a lot more chances.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of way afforded to them. Sin fighting away and won't save the AK. I mean, there wasn't much of a chance. He was kind of surrounded in that situation, so he had to fight. Doesn't get anything, and this will be a full-on eco coming through from M80. Just some great work. Honestly, like, Zukar's not even looking for Rek at that corner. Just flicks around, insta-kills him without Rek really being able to deliver much damage at all. And after that, just the pieces keep on falling in favor of Regain. And they get a second one in a row. As we mentioned, they still need a lot more than that just to push this into overtime. But it is at least something for them to be proud of here.
Certainly.
Against the M80 squad.
They forced an eco.
Yeah.
This is no longer just the run over that we're looking at. A runaway train for M80. There are no damsel tied to the train tracks. No, they're here to fight. They're here to play.
Ooh, that.
Don't just lose it to USPs.
Yeah,
Run.
yeah. Please
Don't give them anything. These are the critical moment. All good. All good. Hey, he's re-peeking. He's chasing back in. There we go. All comfortable. Those are the moments, though, even with just, you know, bare USPs against a team like M80. You can't give them the in.
It was close. I felt like for a moment that Sasha was going to fall by the wayside, but he doesn't. And M80, despite the effort, you know, going for that push out of B main,
this is, again, a situation. It's not going to cost them, I don't think. But this is a situation where recognizing the circumstances, you know it's a USP round. What does it matter if he saves one more USP? Right. There were only 2 guys near the bomb. That's taking a situation that's unlosable and giving it just not a high percentage, but just a little bit more of a percentage.
Yeah, I mean, and also even if they don't win the round, just potentially giving them an AK to work with into the next, which anyway, it doesn't happen, so it's okay, but those are the types of things you need to tighten up as you know, work your way up the ranks and get to the next level of play. Expected to see a little bit of that, though. I mean, these guys are still young, as we talked about, and still haven't had that experience that a team like M80 has at this point. 3 MP9s and 2 Deagles coming from the half buy for M80, and this one's working out really well. Mulbs and Sin get a couple immediately, and as you mentioned, the bomb at their feet. This could be it.
This is a disaster now. You don't know where the battle lines are drawn. You don't know which way to look exactly. You're getting smoked in. That's such aggressive choke point util. There's guns back in spawn that are being picked up. And now, I mean, even getting out of this back into the round is going to be tough. Zuka does find one. But Swisher back to the same angle. This might be unexpected on the fade. What has he got? There's the first. Looking for more.
No way, Swisher.
Just on a Dirk, and Swisher puts together all 3. The force buy works for M80. The aggression into B main works beautifully. And M80 shut this comeback down. Look, you got a chance. Gave a little something. Gave it a little heat. Gave us something there, Regain. But at the end of the day, that was M80's map all the way.
Sure. Swisher made that look way too easy. I'm sorry. Like that is a very difficult sequence of frags. Yeah, he's very good. He had to maneuver perfectly and dodge all the bullets. His health wasn't great. It was very low and didn't get hit once with how quickly he was maneuvering himself around behind the wall and back out again. The third one, I thought he was dead. I thought he would need his teammate to come through and get the trade, but he doesn't. Even a 3K for him. He's so good at closing out maps, and he does it again here.
He does indeed. He does indeed. And that was, reminder, Regain's map pick. That was a map that M80 have shown some vulnerability on in the past, though they're still pretty comfortable on it. We're going to be headed to Ancient next. This is home turf for M80. This is going to be another very tough test for Regain, but I think we've seen enough from that first map that as Regain find their footing, as they maybe settle in, as they maybe get used to seeing some of the names in the server against them, I'm optimistic that they might show us a little bit more heat on Ancient. I can't wait to find out if they do. You're watching the NA Revival Cup, powered by Lenovo Legion. We'll be right back after this break. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. We're getting ready for map number 2. Map number 1, a little bit of a bludgeoning, but Regain showed us a little bit at the end there, right? Showed us just a little bit of juice. At the end of both halves, really. Gave themselves enough of a fighting chance after the first half, and then showed us a little bit once it seemed like everything was set in stone, just to make us think that this team might have a little something more, John.
In particular, I think impressed us a lot with the frags that he was pulling off, some key situations, and even in that 1v1, I think it was who was it? I'm trying to think of the name right now. Ray in the 1v1 managed to clutch it out, and even though it seemed like he was at a disadvantage with the barrel spotted out through the smoke, he ends up clutching it out and getting the shot fired in the frag just in time to get the defusal as well. So yeah, there were flashes for sure from Regain. It could have been a lot more one-sided in favor of M80, and not forgetting that they had one round where they didn't lose a single body, and they were able to shut M80 down on a gun round versus, you know, with the same kind of hardware available to them. So I'm actually really impressed with what they were able to bring to bear, at the very least, given the situation and how one-sided it could have been.
Yeah, indeed. I think that that's very much the case. I also think for M80, right, there were a few moments where they forced M80 to play with discipline. I think M80 were playing with discipline throughout it. We didn't see them disrespect, you know, some teams, especially in North America, if they feel that there's just a massive advantage for them, we'll run it down, we'll chase, we'll play with SMGs. Announce. M80 didn't do that, right? M80 were playing with discipline from the get-go. Really, we're showing the proper respect over to Regain. Weren't taking them lightly in a lot of situations. And I think that Regain showed why, right? They had a few rounds in there where they punished M80, where they managed to capitalize, where they managed to reset the economy in the second half as well. That forced M80 to, you know, dig in a little bit, go for that crazy aggression, go for a little bit less of a vanilla look, and it worked out. But it's nice. That's what we talked about as being the first step. Now, hopefully, yes, they might be on a slightly less comfortable map as we head off of their map pick, but hopefully for Regain, they've gotten a bit more comfort, having gone against these guys at one map, thinking, you know, maybe we could have won some more of the situations. Maybe we can build a little bit more. Maybe we can get started on these streaks a little earlier. I'm curious to see.
Well, I mean, this hasn't been that comfortable for M80 over the last couple of times they played it. Ancient, that is. They defeated Elevate in overtime, 16-12, and then Limitless, it took all 24 rounds. They won 13-11. So I still think there's a chance for Regain to get something going here, and they're going to get the opening frag. That's Zukar finding Wreck over in Donut. Josh, he manages to get one shot off, then fades off and finds the headshot as soon as Malps turns the corner. This could be an opening round victor for Regain, although Swisher has found all the space into the B site, and it's probably a bomb plant at least secured for them.
Sasha. Let's take the one. Not just low numbers here. With that bomb plant down, Slack so blind and dealt with. Swisher, though, capitalizing. He'd need the ace here. We know he's a player who's capable of it. 6 bullets in the gun. Gonna need to be the headshots. Doesn't want to go for the reload here, and they're sticking. Oh, he's misjudged this. He's misjudged this. Was trying to play with the time more. Needs to swing in. It's getting diffused right under his nose, but he's got the ace for Swisher. No time to spare, but he didn't need any.
Wow, Swisher, I mean, just like you said, barely any time to spare. 2 seconds left in the defusal. He finds the first, immediately swings, and there was just no chance at that point as Swisher does what he does best and delivers in clutch moments. 1-0 for M80. That is a heartbreaker for Regain because I thought they played a brilliant pistol round up until that point. They just couldn't shut down Swisher. Wreck running down Zukar, probably the second. There it is for Regain. Okay, Dirk. Okay. It's a headshot and an upgrade.
Not likely. But hold on, cheeky play through the smoke. Dirk. Dirk, is he being held? He is now. He's now. Mobs is watching for it. Well, actually, he might have just found a gap. If he had a kit, I would say this could get weird. And they are hunting a little aggressively. Just stick it. Just stick it. Just stick it. Just stick it. Come on.
There's no kit, Mike.
It's the only way to win. It was the only way to win.
Yeah.
I understand expecting more players to be closer at hand. But that was the only way to win. You had to stick it immediately after that kill. After that one kill, you just had to bet on it. If he had a kit, man, they got so far afield. I think that's going to be a nice reminder. That's going to be a reminder for M80 that they're not actually punished by it. Hey, you know, maybe you don't get too excited in these hunts.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that Regain are forcing them at the very least to kind of be a little more disciplined in their play. Regain will be on a full-on eco here, aside from a couple of pistol upgrades. It's 2 P250s. Everyone else on those USPs. And they're stacking that B site, taking the chance, gambling. Is it going to be the correct gamble, and will it even matter? Another question. 4 players already lined up to push into this site. The flashbang, the util, the Molotovs. Oh my goodness. I mean, Regain have to readjust themselves before they even spotted out a player. M80's kind of expecting this one. Uh-oh, it is a slaughter! Slacks with 3, Zukar the last one, and no longer. Wow, M80 making quick work of everyone.
Why not? Identify the stack, sweep the stack off the table. Flip the table. Who needs those pieces? That's how I like to win chess games, personally. Yeah. Just flip the whole board.
It's not winning, Mike.
Checkmate this! Wow!
I think that's losing.
That's
just more dramatically.
Well, you know, if they flip their king, if they knock their king over, that's surrender, right? So if I knock their king over indirectly, they're surrendering.
Hey,
Mutual surrender, it's a draw. You know,
well, maybe
agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. Such as they agreed not to defend the A site here. A little unfortunate for them now. Finding themselves locked into a retake. Oh, with choke point utility this deep, with mobs flirting with them, poking with them, and a late play in from Swisher here in elbow.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mobs gets caught by the nade. Swisher might need to activate a little ahead of schedule. He's being held right now from Sasha. But Regain, I think, starting to feel uncomfortable with this one. They're not going to go for it. They just don't feel like they can get through these chokes. Even with the man advantage here, they're backing away. They will concede a 4th round over to M80.
Wow. Valiant effort from Regain, but they realize that the best course of action here is to try again another round. And Slacks actually goes down to the bomb, so a little expensive for M80. The problem is, at least for Regain, is it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's 10k for Slacks available, so he'll be able to buy up the AWP should he want to, which wouldn't surprise me. They'll be able to come right back into this round with everything they could possibly hope for. On the other side, Regain with the 3-man save also have the similar situation. So let's see. What do they got? Better defense here before the bomb gets planted. How do they divide up the forces? Sending 3 players towards B, 2 charging down mid. So this is an attempt to fight off anyone trying to go A and then defend against B. And wow, nice job. Ray actually gets the opener and Sasha the follow-up. Malbs manages to respond here, but it's a 4v3 situation this time before the bomb is planted. Malbs, he's hunting, but won't get anything. Zukar continues to impress, delivering an important frag in a round that gives them a 4v2 edge.
Little jiggle. Little poke, little prod. Rex got the space. Molotov's gonna go on. That'll contain the cave players. Does Molly spread? No. Sin stays safe. And now the post plant, even with the numbers disadvantage, they do control the choke points pretty effective. It's just a shot through from slide. Oh my goodness! Look at this spam damage. I mean, it's gone both ways, right? But there's 2 healthy players coming in from this Regain side. They gotta make a move. Molly makes it uncomfortable, but they're playing together. Now Sin in the 1v1. He can't get away.
Oh.
The Molly wins it for in the end, but damn, that gets close.
How did they make that a 1v1 on M80 side? That's crazy in itself because both players below 50 HP. I think it was something like 50 combined, in fact, for both players, and they managed to almost win the round. Unreal stuff. Those two are really a dynamic duo. And Wreck, oh man, if he stays alive there, imagine. Anyway, Regain, good job. They do manage to get that first round, even though it probably should have been a little bit easier given the advantage they built up for themselves in the early parts of the round.
But here's the benefit of that 4-man save in the last, right? Now you got some cash. Now you're not at the absolute risk of absolute poverty if you can't make this round work. Joshi connects on the first, up on top of the big box. He's stuck here now, though. Molotov on. Yeah, Josh, he's a goner.
Yeah, that's why you don't do that.
Did get the one, though. Zukar making a play through. That's
Okay.
just a spam kill. And the walkout gets another. Swisher, a clutch.
What?
All right, Dirk. All right, Dirk. You know what? You take those. 2 gimmies through the smoke. Sometimes it's just the way it's gotta be.
I mean, that's a super ballsy play from Joshy going over top big box. And I was saying there's a reason you don't do that because you really expose yourself as you're dropping down. The util comes in and he doesn't get a second one. But I mean, the fact that he gets the first is actually enough because the rest of the squad comes in and just closes in on M80. I can't believe it went that way. I think there was a couple, in fact, through the smoke, a little bit of luck going a long way. And Swisher at the end, even in the 1v2, had some hope he'd be able to pull it off. But no, regain. They've got a second. Rek has enough to buy up the AK here and the body armor. Everyone else onto pistols and some armor. 3 total on the M80 side. So a decent buy up, which will still allow them to buy up in the next round. Regain have a chance of cutting this lead down to only 1. There have been some shaky points, though, right? Even in the first one they won, came down to 1v1. That second one, you know, some frags through the smoke helped them out immensely.
Yeah.
Could have gone wrong.
Definitely could have. That did look like frankly, a bad setup
Yeah.
for regain. But, you know, sometimes you need that spam. Sometimes you need those angles. Sometimes that's what it's about. Here on Ancient, some choke point spam at a timely fashion. Need those things to break in your favor. Can't fumble the bag here, though. Whoa. Timing. Sasha was about to be on the end of a Malmstiegel peak. Instead, now they've conceded cave. This is looking pretty good for a potential bomb plant. If there was one more smoke on the M80 side, there's any kind of util here. Instead, they're going to have to cross the sight lines of 3 rifles over for regain. Make that 2. They back them away. Is the bomb on? The bomb's on.
No.
Already success in this round, frankly. Now let's see how far they can take it. Swisher getting some damage, harassing through from mid. Ray is low. Joshy's low as well. Joshy gone. They've not gotten any health. Sin doesn't either, to be fair. 1 bullet will do him. And there's that 1 bullet. So defuse on, but my goodness, M80 between the bomb plant and how expensive they make this one, not bad for an eco.
Not bad at all, like, especially considering they were on the precipice of winning the round. But Regan get a 3rd, so this is pretty much as close as they've been up against M80 since going back to Anubis. And you're going to see here, like, that was where it was scary. If Slacks comes out and hits another deagle shot, then that round will fall the way of M80. Instead, Regain is the one to get it. They find 3 in a row. Like you said, every single round was expensive for them up to this point with that 3-round win streak, and that's why their economy is kind of bad here. Although Zukar does have almost 2K, everyone else is in a bit of a tough spot. So should they lose this round, which could happen, given the way things have been played, it'll be a problem. Zukar pushing up. Rek's waiting for this, and he loses the fight. Rek is waiting for that angle to be pushed, and Zukar's the one to take the advantage here away from M80. They do push up towards mid. 3 players already here, and that's trouble for, I believe it's Joshy, who's going to come peek this angle. If he pushes in here, he's probably dead. And yeah, there it is. Slacks holding it, finds it. Now they have a path to either A or B. They're going to choose A.
With the presence in main, it makes sense. Pushing towards Donut, it's a good read here. Gives yourself a position to fight from, especially as they clear it. You actually might be able to make this a retake. Now this might become as much about the B players. Sasha and Dirk rotating in. Slacks catches the first. Knows that he saw the second as well. Knows he's got him painted into a corner. And now what are you going to do? You're just going to make a play out. Mobs nearly finishes off both. Zukar's trying to bail out of this one. Struck us wide. Slacks won't be able to deny the rifle save. Zukar might be able to keep this gun up into the next, but it is still M80 striking back, finding their 5th round of this T side.
Yeah, but I mean, Zukar continues to impress. Like that was a couple of nice fights. I mean, big miss from Slacks, but he capitalizes on it, closes the distance immediately, and finds himself 2 on the round. Make that 3 on the round, I should say. Although the important one, winning it, is not going to happen as M80 strike back and end that 3-round win streak. This is the opener that I didn't think Zukar was going to win, but he does, and that actually gives Regain a really good chance into the round. But after that, Slacks just isolates the player so well in that 1v1. I should say in the 1v1s he created for himself. So here we go into round number 9. And M80 are going to have full-on buy, of course. On the Regain side, they're going for the eco. The AK saved over from the previous one, and MP9 bought up with a couple of pieces of utility and a defuse kit, so we'll see if that comes into play. Malbs wins the fight immediately with Zukar, though, and that's mid-control. Almost gained, probably now. Is Ray going to survive this onslaught? No.
Man was besieged. Medieval style. I'm talking boiling oil over the walls type of situation. Usually they drop from the walls. In that instance, over the walls.
Oh, run boost.
Tough to deal with. Cheeky run boost. I like it. Get a little bold. Show some flair. But M80 aren't terribly impressed. Now look, 3 players are distinctly killable with these pistols. Next, try and play volleyball there. See if he can't block the smoke. They're both here. Well, Mobs gives him a gun. Joshy finds a kill. Okay, yeah. I mean, low percentage round. But it was starting to get interesting, John.
For a moment. They kept hope alive for a little bit, but in the end, there's just too many bodies for Regain to worry about. And even if they get those low HP players, there's still a couple of very healthy ones that could have dealt with them. So, you know, a few frags come through. Not too bad for Regain, but M80 double up on their scoreline with the 6th. Regain call a timeout. Good on them. I mean, they've used their timeouts on Anubis as well. Now they're trying to talk things over on Ancient. They believe. They have that faith that they can come through here and push this to a 3rd map. Talking things over before they go for their next gun round. Tomas will have to be bought up to ensure the full util is available for 4 players. Joshy foregoing the util to ensure he has that big green. Where is he going to position it? It looks like it's going to be the A site in Temple, or at least around Temple. Now Ray going for a pop flash, clearing out mid. The Molotovs and the smokes are keeping M80 at bay, and they're not really challenging for mid at all anymore. In fact, all 5 players are leaning heavily into the B site, and you see 2 already charging up ramp. I think they're going for a quick fight here. They're going to try and bully Regain.
They've got the space as well. Regain been sitting back a lot in these rounds. They've lost the cave presence as well. Bombs all but certain to be going down. Spam trying to deny it, but it's a risky prospect, and Joshy finds out why. Oh, hold on. Hold on.
What?
What on earth? Just in a moment, this one turns on its head. And Ray leaves Slacks in a clutch. This looked like a disaster. This looks like full control on. But now instead, Slacks is trying to make the cheeky maneuver. He could just leave. Oh, panic shot. Information given up. Zukar's going to be coming back the other way now.
Oh,
that felt
what
like a
the
keyboard hit
timing?
with the mouse. That timing is actually ridiculous. There's a player up in Donut. He's planning safe from it. Footstep on just the spot. Slacks knows where 1 is now. He can isolate this fight. Let's come forward into it. Did he hear the cross? He sees the shadow. Oh no. He sees the shadow. Right. Deleted, but he got most of the health actually down. The bomb's not planted for him. The bomb's not planted for him.
No kit, though.
Zukar still testing at the hot shot. What? Kukli! Out on the server.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. We've talked about him multiple times. This is his most impressive round so far. He comes out with 2 frags out of nowhere, out of nothing. M80 had full control of the site, and Zukar says, no, you don't. Gets 2, brings it down to only 1 left in Slacks. And Slacks, despite his efforts, that wasn't clean at all. So much damage done, and Zukar just gets the jumping M4 shot. Ay,
Tough Brothers at home,
ay,
kids. He must
Yeah.
have known how low he is. That's coming
Yeah,
from
for
the donut
sure.
player.
For sure. I mean, he knew that the headshot had come in, right?
That's the moment where your teammate calls he's one, and you're like, I'm just gonna trust him. It's a dangerous thing to do in NA. Biggest lie ever
Trust
told in
your
Counter-Strike.
teammates?
He's one shot. He's one shot. We've all been there. We've all been the one who's lying, or we've all been the one on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, it's yeah. Definitely. I can't deny
You know,
it.
like 4 times, he's won.
Yeah.
I swear, dude, he's lit. 1 for 22. But trust. Gets you some results.
Again.
Slacks. All alone. Didn't expect the late tree boost. Man, this is looking like a whole different team here for Regain. They got some heat. They've got some juice. They got a trade in towards mid and a win on that as well. Sasha playing off his teammate beautifully. And M80 have been put on notice.
And Zukar. Oh, wow. Swisher gets peeked. And that was an MP9. It was from Zukar. Dink Swisher from long range, taking him down to half health. They do have potentially a chance of taking this B site if they go quickly, but Regain have realized what's going on. Sin, okay, good shot. Headshot onto Sasha. Dirk still waiting along long B. Zukar, who's been the most threatening player, is still alive. Sin managed to deliver a second. Zukar, can he do it again? Yes, he can! Frag on to Swisher. That's his second on the round. Sin, the last one standing. He's not really in a great position, and the health is not that good either. Starts to spam, but that gives everything away. So he's going to, I mean, Zukar is, he's going to stick the defusal, and that's going to be that. Regain have picked up a 5th. Oh! Wait, I spoke too soon? No. They got the 5th round. And Zukar continues to be the hot hand. I was going to say he made such an unselfish play at the beginning of the round. He drops his M4 for his teammate and says, don't worry, I got the MP9, and immediately gets the opening frag.
Man just comes from the Calamity School of MP9ing.
Wow. That is wild.
What the question game this is now.
Yeah, I mean, the question becomes, how long can Zukar keep this up?
I mean, he's having a good performance. It's very good. But
Yes.
it's not so extraordinary that it doesn't feel sustainable, right? It's not like he's hitting the most insane 180 flick shots where you're like, there's no way he can do that twice. The jump shot over the box was pretty nutty. But I think he's just got a little heat there. Dirk down, Joshy down, Sasha alone. Last round of the half, Sasha burning. Somehow finds one in an impossible situation, but that is going to be all she wrote. A flying deagle to close the half, and we will switch sides. It's an M80 lead here. It is 2 rounds to the lead, and we will be hopping on over to the swap. So life gets more difficult for Regain as we swap sides, but man, I don't know. I'm starting to believe. Starting to get excited. I mean, this is what we wanted, John.
Yeah. Absolutely. A close map, at the very least, between Regain and M80, and we're getting exactly that. I'm really impressed with Zukar in particular. I mean, the plays he's making, the confidence he has, you know, when he's going out there, especially on the CT side, to get aggressive against this M80 squad. Beautiful. And I mean, he's given his team a fighting chance going on to the T side here, and a pistol round victory would be amazing. I'm just impressed overall with that. The fact they're even making it this close. Sin and Slacks are going to get the opening 2 frags, but the bomb is planted here, and it's the pistol round. Anything can happen. Slacks poking around, gets his head taken off. Zukar, of course, is the one to find that. Dirk dualies out, spamming away, gets 1, but not the second. Still a 3v2, a chance remains for Regain, and it's quickly being wiped away. Zukar doesn't have the heroics to clutch out that 1v3, and it will be M80 taking an 8th.
Comfortable pistol. Comfortably done there for M80, but I think regardless of the way this map ends, regardless of the way this goes, this is what we were hoping for, right? This is what it's about here in the NA Revival Cup, powered by Lenovo Legion. This is what it's all about, is finding new NA talent, giving them the arena, the platform to showcase their skills here, and finding Regain, making a go of it here on Ancient, seeing Zukar pull off some of these highlight reel plays. This is what we wanted. New team, new player. Now on our radar in a big way. And this is something that we just might never have gotten without this kind of a cup.
Yeah, and also a team to keep an eye on as this advanced season continues to move forward, and perhaps one that can make some noise in those playoffs and get that invite to relegation for ECL. Well, this round is going to decidedly go the way of M80, you think. Oh no, Sin gets caught with Util in its hands. Hold on, Dirk makes it a 2v3. They need to recover the bomb, and Swisher is trying to get into their faces. Dirk probably not going to expect this push to come through. He's looking the other way every time.
Play the cubby for the moment. They need to recover the bomb, that's the thing. So Swish is just playing off the choke point here.
Yeah.
Teammates clearing in towards mid. Good flashbang. Good flashbang. Slacks caught. Oh, but there they go. Josh it down. Rek was never blinded. His vision clear. That is nicely done from M80.
That was a really good flash, though. You're right. I mean, Regain thought for a moment they'd be able to get even further into that round, but it's just not going to happen. The aim is too good. Slacks and Rek deliver the final frags, and M80 are looking to hit double digits here. It will be an eco round coming through for Regain. A deagle, a couple of deagles, in fact, the rest onto Glocks, and 3 pieces of util to go for what will be a very light execute. Malbs pushing up mid, as he loves to do here on Ancient, and he's already into lane, peeking around. Not sure what he was jiggling for there, but okay, it's Malbs, so I'll let it go. Oh, great flashbang thrown again, but Malbs is there to help support his teammate. Sin recovers just in time to get a couple, and Ray is the last one standing.
Talk about a chaotic round for Sin. He's getting ready to get flashed through, then he gets flashed, then I don't even know what's happening. Killing everybody. But it's clean. That's what was ultimately important. Keeping this as clean as possible. Keeping it healthy. Double digits now on it. They're giving themselves a prime opportunity to keep it going here on the CT side.
What is Joshy knifing in that replay? I just saw it. Like, what? He must have just run out of bullets or something and just desperately knifing away. Anyway.
Panique.
What's that?
Panic.
Oh, panic. Okay. What's
Panique.
Panique. I got it.
Panic with a QUE on it. It's a little flare on it. No.
Beautiful.
Mid controls established. It is not contested from the other side. Dirt. What on earth? Flashed up and just spams his way through. And this is now a disaster for M80. They wanted to get the aggression. They wanted to get this over with. And they've been punished. They've been shown why this Regain team is demanding a little bit of respect.
And no question, I don't understand why they would push so aggressively 2 players through the smoke. And I mean even Dirk, like, just walking out fully flash pretty much and just spraying forward and managing to connect. So I don't know.
But to be fair to them, the flashbang was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
Straight there, but that confirms that there's maximum of 1 player here in towards B, and in fact, there's nobody. There's nobody. Bomb going to go down. Slack's gonna give this a look. What was that snap around from Zukar?
Bomb has been planted.
Too good, man.
What a headshot there. Rek alone now. Likely just gonna save.
Dude, Zukar's at the top of the server right now. I mean, tied with Slacks, but still. Wow.
Got some hot shots there.
He's got some aim here. He's got some mechanical skill. Beautiful stuff.
It's what you like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Rek would like to see if he can get out of this. Answer is yes. With 1 more parting gift.
Terrorists win.
They've got money to buy up, right? So it's not a huge disaster for M80. That was kind of the bonus round. Still had SMGs up, which is probably part of why they went for this aggressive push. Both SMGs trying to get frisky. But now they're going to want to put their foot down.
I would say so. They can still go for a little bit of aggression. It's normal out of Jaguar to try and peek around and see if you can catch the T's off guard, but probably just 1 player versus 2 pushing up. Malbs and Rek do want that mid control. Molotov thrown, smoke as well, and nothing's going to happen there. At least not without a bit of difficulty from the T's pushing out towards mid. The spam is fantastic for Sin.
Oh boy.
Gets Dirk down to 15 HP. Dirk continues to push forward. He wants to try and repeat his success from the previous round. Almost catches Sin with Utol out, but this time it goes the other way. Sin is able to get the M4 frag onto him. Joshy right there for the trading cubby. Swings around. Malbs answers, and he gets the second as well. Malbs looking to swing once more. Sasha's eating Utol bullets. Everything fades away with only 17 HP. 4v2.
Don't think they were very cowed by the lack of success from the aggression in the last round, right? They know what they want, and what they want is B main control. What they want is every damn kill put together on a platter. Just Sasha now. Lone man.
Counter-terrorists win.
And they got him.
Gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
This is just unfortunate for Dirk because he was about to catch Sim with Utah in his hands, then he's the one who gets caught without a gun. Oh boy. 11-6 for M80. Regain are running out of time and rounds. They are going to call a timeout to talk things over, and I mean this is going to be a force buy because it kind of has to be. You have enough money to justify it. It's probably 3 rifles that are going to come through with a couple of Mac 10s. Maybe you ratchet up the pace a little bit. Send Zukar out to get some frags. In fact, I would rather Zukar be the one behind someone else, second man in, so that he can do damage off of the first attempt. But Regain, at the very least, they can say we gave M80 a little bit of a headache here on Ancient, even Anubis at certain points.
I put together some moments, certainly. And it ain't done yet. It ain't over till it's over, John. This one ain't over just yet. I believe in the magic. You know, with a name like Regain, they're just built for the comeback. What's their logo? It's like a ram?
No, I think it's like... But why?
Looks like one of those mountain goat type vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, mountain goat falls down, they gotta climb back up. Regain.
Okay.
I don't know.
You
I'm making
sold
that
me.
up.
I mean, it works. It worked, so I'll accept it. Alps, ooh, has to use the smoke to survive here. Loses more than half of his health, and now they're spamming onto him, and he will eventually fall. Sasha delivers the killing blow. 5v4 in favor of Regain as they have full control of mid as well. Moving out and deciding where they want to go. 3 players leaning into B, and the bomb headed that direction means that will be the final destination. I think Zukar just wants to try and get in and put pressure on long B so that his teammates can come up the ramp a little bit more comfortably. Or maybe he's just waiting for rotations. One of the two. It's a interesting call.
Yeah, I mean, you want to activate this one late through the red room. 40 seconds, he's starting to leak through. Pressure applied towards B. That distracts the focus. That draws them around. Good Molotov, though. Forces Joshy wide. Drops the C4. Now you need Zukar to get active. Is he going to get this kill? It's everything. The duel off with Slacks. No. Rack actually comes around. Slacks is holding him at bay. Realized that he was there. So this becomes a very tough post plant. All on Array. Oh, and shut down. Looking the wrong way. Plenty of time for the defuse. Series point will be found here from MA. The bomb plant at least gives them a bit more into the next. Or Regain, it is a very long road to overtime.
Yeah, similar to Anubis. Actually better than Anubis, right? It was 9 rounds in a row required for Anubis. This time it's 6 rounds in a row. So perhaps they'll be able to achieve that. But that was a rough one. Honestly, the Mac 10s probably made it into a more difficult situation. I thought Zukar could have activated earlier, maybe pushed up and put pressure on before they executed. Maybe looked a little out of sequence there towards the end, but it's all right. They're going to call a timeout, talk things over in what could be their final round here of the NA Revival Cup, powered by Lenovo Legion. Round number 19. It all comes down to this for Regain. 3 AKs, 2 Galils, enough utility to go for a fake if they want to, and then rotate themselves over. What do they decide? One way or another, Regain, you've impressed us.
That they have. That they've had. Had their flashes, they've had their moments. But you know what impressed us more? Their comeback.
Yes.
Oh, Dirk! What is that snap around? Sin caught! Can't use the ping excuse anymore there. Just got. 5v4. This is how it starts, John. This is how the road to 6 rounds in a row begins here at the NA Revival Cup, powered by Lenovo Allegiant. This is how it happens. Grouping up for the Retake, Mobs, and Wreck to defend. 2 tough customers, to be fair.
Yeah.
If they come through the smoke on this,
Timing.
what's the util? What's the util on this fade? Molotov. Oh, they're burning. Oh,
no.
Perfect play. Perfect counter. That's content with the aiming presence, but they line up, they stack up, and Mobs leaves just one. Joshy, what you got? You got nothing.
Oh, man.
What a play from Wreck and Mobs. Picture perfect on the timing of that Molotov. And it's ruination for Regain.
Sad.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, just impressive by Mobs as usual. I mean, he's been delivering highlight reel plays for a good while now, and that's just another notch in his belt, right? But I mean, Regain looking good. Got 6 rounds against an M80 squad that's been touted as being near the top of NA, if not at the top of NA. And also, yes, by us. And Zukar is also looking quite strong. I mean, that's an individual performance that he has to be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that considering the circumstances, these are the expectations we set up before this. It's impressive that Regain made it through the qualifier, considering their competition. It's impressive that Regain managed to take some rounds against M80, managed to really force M80 to consider what they were doing, to maybe pull out some different strats, to change up the pace of play, to change up some things, show some respect. And it's certainly impressive, some of the individual highlights that we got, particularly from Zukar, but from the squad as a whole. I think that there's enough that they've shown in this matchup that Regain can be somewhat happy with how they performed. Obviously, there's a lot to learn from it as well. There's a lot that they can learn from M80 in general and watching what they're doing, because this is a squad that is surging towards the top of our region and ready for international Counter-Strike. But it's still encouraging, and it was cool to see for a team that is a complete first impression for you and I, John. It's always cool to see someone come out as a complete first impression, and for us to have a positive note in our minds, right? A good, like, this was good. This was good. Yes, the scoreline may not indicate it, but you did good, Regain. If you're watching this back afterwards, you should be proud of some of that, and there's a lot to learn from it as well. But we'll be watching. Yeah. You're on the radar. That's what it's all about here at the NA Revival Cup. That is going to wrap up our broadcast for the first day. M80 move on, NRG move on as well. The broadcast will begin tomorrow with the semifinals and then our grand final as well. That starts, I believe, at 3 Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So 3 o'clock Eastern. Be sure to tune in wherever you've been watching it here. We're live on like 3 different Twitches and a couple different Twitters. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for the NA Revival Cup, where we'll be concluding what we've got going on here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Lenovo Legion for making this all possible. Thank you to Complexity and Mythic as well. And we'll be back tomorrow. See y'all then. Bye-bye.
Get it.